Good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on in. Rise and shine. Happy Saturday. Come on in. Join me on my morning walk at 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the beautiful state of Georgia. Come on in, like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Join me on another walk and talk. Let's talk about it. All things Diddy. All things FONZWORTH Bentley. Come on in. Breaking news, breaking news. Come on in. Lawsuits are still being filed. People trying to get paid out while the money is still available. People, everybody looking for a payout, including Kevin Dwayne Pittman. Come on in here. Kevin Dwayne said, listen, Linda, listen, I need mines too. That man then heard Cassie say on that stage, she got 20 million up out of him. Kevin Dwayne Pittman. Good morning, good morning. Just say when, good morning. Have you gotten into the lawsuit that was filed recently on May 20th, 2025 against Diddy and FONZWORTH Bentley? Have you gotten into that? Did you read the details? Did you hear the details? Listen, Linda, listen. I got it. I got the information. Did you hear about it? It's a mess like anything associated with Sean P. Diddy Combs, y'all. It's like a prerequisite. If his name is involved, it's an entire nasty mess. Double tap the screen, like the video. Join me in my walk and talk. Listen, it's wild out here. Should you say no, you haven't? You all let me know. You're familiar with this lawsuit. It's okay if you're not. Y'all know I'm going to bring it to you with the details. This lawsuit, these allegations, the alleged misconduct took place right here in my state, the state where I currently reside, Atlanta, Georgia. Come on in. The raunchiness, y'all know Atlanta. Listen, y'all, when you know, Atlanta. Listen, come on in. There's 30 of y'all in here. Double tap the screen, giving it some time for you all to get in here to get this information this morning before you start your day, because you will hear a lot of people talking about it, probably going into the week as we resume the Diddy trial coming off of the Memorial Day holiday. People will be talking. FONZWORTH Bentley, he's been quiet. He hasn't been saying anything. People been calling him to the front of the congregation. FONZWORTH Bentley actually lives here where I live in Atlanta, Georgia. He's married with 2 beautiful children, a son and a daughter. Beautiful family. Look him up. He has photos of his family on his Instagram. He's living a quiet life. Yeah, so he's been just minding his business. But a lot of the things that's been happening, people are like, yo, like, FONZWORTH, like, I need for you to step to the front of the congregation because I know you've seen a lot of this foolishness. Where are you? Where are you? So basically, he's been called out. So this lawsuit is definitely going to force him to have to speak up and make a comment. The lawsuit was filed on May 20th. What's today? Today's what, today the 24th. Today's the 24th, so what, 4 days ago? So what was that, Tuesday? The lawsuit was filed on May 20th. So let's get into this lawsuit. Let's get into it. Come on in. Double tap the screen, like the video. It's 21 of you in here. We're about to get into it. The lawsuit filed May 20th, 2025 by Kevin Dwayne Pittman. That is the name of the man who has filed the lawsuit against Sean P. Diddy Combs and all his aliases. He said we can file it against Sean John Combs, Diddy, P. Diddy, what P.E.E. Diddy. Listen, whatever you call him, whatever we want that too. So they filed a lawsuit against Sean and all aliases, as well as Derek Watkins, aka FONZWORTH Bentley. How many of you all remember FONZWORTH Bentley? He was the guy, the tall, slim guy who would walk around with him holding the umbrella to shield Diddy from like the sun, the rain, whatever. He always had this umbrella. He would twirl it. He always dressed very nice. He always kind of had like more of a formal look to him, clean cut. How else I would describe him? If you know, kind of that energy, like a Kappa, if you're familiar with the fraternities, how they kind of real clean with it. Just a nice, clean, nice, crisp haircut, just clean with it. That was FONZWORTH Bentley. That was his image that he had while he worked with P. Diddy. I mostly seen him a lot when he used to be on the, so I grew up watching the show Making the Band. So, you know, I was in high school in the 90s. So I grew up watching him then. I'm not quite sure when he stopped working for Sean Diddy Combs. If it was maybe, y'all remember Mace, the rapper Mace, that used to work alongside of him as well. Both of them kind of left his team, so I'm not quite sure who left first. But Mace also made his way to Atlanta, where I live. Listen, folks, just listen, it goes down here. Good, bad, the ugly, whatever. Listen, if you want something popping off, you gonna come to Georgia, because it is definitely no dull moments. So whatever life or whatever type of time you own, like, Atlanta's gonna give it. Atlanta is going to give it. So Mace made his way here to Atlanta, as well as FONZWORTH Bentley. And so, like I said, FONZWORTH is currently married. But FONZWORTH, his name's in this lawsuit. He's named in this lawsuit. Y'all come on in here, double tap the screen, like the video. So, let's get to it. Back in, so, the alleged incident, let me do the math. So, this was almost, he filed this lawsuit was filed almost 22 years to the date from when the alleged incident took place. So the lawsuit was filed May 20th, 2025. The alleged incident took place May 23rd, 2003. So I don't know if he's trying to, you know, what's the deal with that, but I'm just kind of taking notice of the dates. So on May 23rd, 2003, Kevin Pittman, his full name, Kevin Dwayne Pittman, alleges that he was sexually assaulted, violently armed, drugged, and battered. And then he filed battery charges. And there was battery against him. Yes. So let me tell you the background. So how many, if y'all familiar with Atlanta, there's a popular mall called Lenox Mall. Lenox Mall is a very popular mall. So it's our mall in Georgia that's going to have like all your high-end stores, because not all the malls going to kind of have your Gucci, Louis Vuitton. You ain't getting that from all the malls. But Lenox is that one mall where you're going to get like all of those, you know, international fashion designers. Like, you're going to get it all at the Lenox Mall. So it's a very known, popular mall. I don't go there. I've been before, but it's been years since I've been there before. But it's a mall that's here. It's very busy. It's in Buckhead. So apparently there was a Sean John fashion show that took place at the mall on May 23rd in May 2003. There was a fashion show that took place there. And Kevin, the person who's filed the lawsuit, the plaintiff, Kevin said he was there doing his duties as a, let me see, what did he say his title was? He was a talent agent. So Kevin Dwayne Pittman said that he was at Lenox Mall in May 2003, May 23rd, 2003. He was there at Lenox Mall working, doing his duties as a talent agent. He said while he was there, FONZWORTH Bentley approached him and basically asked him if he wanted to attend a party. Like, y'all know Diddy known for these after parties. After the event, he's like, yo, I'm putting on this party. And or Diddy's putting on this party. So this is FONZWORTH Bentley talking to Kevin. He's telling him, hey, we're having a party, Diddy. He'd like for you to come. And also, can you bring these particular girls over here? I guess they had already scoped out some young ladies that, you know, they're like, yo, can you bring them too? We want you to come, but we want them to come too. Y'all see what I'm saying? We want them to come too. So Kevin's like, all right, then bet. So Kevin shows up to the party, which was at a hotel. And he brings along the two girls that was requested, which were ages 13 and 14. So the two girls that Kevin brought along with him were ages 13 and 14. He says while they were there, they were given, now this is the two young girls as well as him. I did not see in the lawsuit his age at the time. So I'm going to say he was at least an adult because he said he was there working as like a talent agent. So I want to say, you know, he was at least, you know, above 18 years of age because he was there working a job. But I did not read in the lawsuit. From what I saw and what I've heard, I have not heard about his age at the time of the alleged incident. But he did say in the lawsuit, the two young girls that he brought with him upon FONZWORTH Bentley's request, they were ages 13 and 14. So Kevin alleges at the party, the three of them, the two minors and as well as him, were provided alcohol, pills that he described as ecstasy. Let me see. And they were coerced into they were coerced into non-sexual acts throughout the intoxicity, manipulation, and they were threatened with violence. So let me say they were coerced into non-consensual sexual acts. Let me correct that. He said the two minors that were ages 13, two girls, 13 and 14, they were coerced into non-consensual sexual acts while at this party at a hotel here in Atlanta on May 23rd, 2003. What he's asking for out of this lawsuit is $7,500,000. I don't know where the $500 coming from. Hell, I don't know. Maybe he like, listen, I need you to pay for me to pay for this paperwork that I have to file. But it's alleged that he's asking for $7,500,000 for damages. Let's talk about these damages, y'all. Y'all come on in here, double tap the screen, like the video. It's a beautiful day today in the neighborhood. I'm just doing a walk and talk. Jeffy said, nah, I'm innocent. I didn't do that. Come on in, double tap the screen. Let's see, what else is this man saying? The injuries that Kevin Dwayne Pittman has said that he's endured have been physical injuries, severe emotional distress, psychological trauma, and lasting harm. Y'all, these sound like the injuries that Kid Cudi Dog got going on. Because y'all, Kid Cudi Dog, he had some damages too after Diddy allegedly went up in Kid Cudi's house after he learned about Cassie and him messing around. Kid Cudi said when he came home, his dog was locked in the bathroom, all shook up, nerves just bad. Dog just ain't the same. So I said with him, everybody this man come in contact, he make their nerves bad. Like, so I'm not going to say that Cassie nerves ain't shot. Because even the dog's nerves shot. So this man said after that encounter back in May 2003, he ain't been the same. So if everything took place that he's alleging, it makes sense why he's not the same. It makes sense to me. It makes sense to me that you would not be the same. Hell, his former workers ain't the same. Y'all seen he had a couple of former employees testify. You just don't be the same after you encounter this man. It's just a different type of experience. It's a different type of experience with this man. It really has me to really look at the ones who got away very differently, because Cassie stayed for so long. But you had other people that came in and out of Diddy's life who managed to like get away and just stay away. They're like, you know what? I can't do this. I don't know how you over there doing it, but listen, I'm just an employee and what I'm seeing, and I'm not even getting the hands and the feet put on me like that. Some of them was getting said, you know, they was getting assaulted, but how? You know what? I can't even ask no questions no more. I'm just about to get my bag and just keep it moving. And it's very unfortunate that that's not what happened with Cassie. It's very, very unfortunate. But it also lets me know that early on when she got with him, that from a psychological place, stuff wasn't right with her anyway. Where she had some challenge, some cognitive challenges going on with her brain that had her to get into something, seeing that it was some hot mess, and then stay in it as long as she did. There's something there. It's from a listen. So welcome to my channel. You all double tap the screen. Let me tell you a little background about myself. My name is Chic. My channel, this is Chic Speaks. I talk about just things that are going on in the world, and I insert information centered around mental illness. My background is clinical mental health. I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. So as I talk about different things, I will talk about just the impacts of the psyche, the impacts on a person from just the things that they endure, their life experiences, trauma, all of that, and how it impacts them psychologically, emotionally, physically, all of that. This week, there was a professional on the stand who testified about the impacts of the lifelong impacts of someone who goes through abuse. And a lot of what she was saying, they were things that I've said on this channel when I've talked about, even when I've been covering and coming on here and talking about the Diddy trial, where I talk about the psyche and the reasons why people stay. She was saying a lot of the things that I've said, because when you know, you know. And it becomes psychological. I say that it's when someone gets a hold of you mentally, psychologically, that's far worse than them physically grabbing you. Because when somebody has you mentally in that mental chokehold, they have you in a place to where even when you physically remove yourself from them, you still feel trapped and you still feel tied to them. There were plenty of times where Cassie physically left this man, going to be with Kid Cudi being one of them, and going back to be with him within days afterwards. That's an example of someone who's psychologically in a chokehold. So it's beyond the physical. And that's why they say, you know, with an abuser, they know they have to get you mentally. They got to get into your head. So therefore, you truly believe that you can't move around even when you physically can move around. They got to get you to believe you can't. That's why they say mental abuse is far worse than the physical abuse, because the pain, the bruises, they heal. But this right here, Cassie is still messed up. Much of her physical bruises, they've healed. They are gone. I'm sure she has some permanent scars, but most of the abuse right now that she's dealing with is to the psyche. It's psychological. And it's going to, and this is going to be treatment that she's going to have to receive forever, ever, to navigate through and to manage it, because it doesn't go away. See, when you go through things and trauma, it doesn't go away. when you hear talks about going to a therapist, counselor, psychologist, psychiatrist, all of that, that's just for you to go and talk to somebody, for them to help you navigate what you went through while you still live. Because it doesn't go away. You're not going to forget unless something happens to you that impacts your memory, some type of accident. And most of the time, that's not the case. So you're just still going through life, still remembering, reflecting on just the things that happened to you. And when you're in those moments, when you're thinking about those things that happened to you, it starts to play out in your behaviors, your presenting behaviors, the things that you do, how you communicate with people. So as I look at, listen to Cassie's story and hear about all these crazy things that happened while she was in a relationship with this man, and it still wasn't enough for her to permanently and just stay gone, even when I say she physically left, it lets me know that mentally she was already in a weak place when she encountered this man. See, Cassie's traumas and whatever she had going on with her, she had things going on with her prior to her getting with him. She already was in a bad place, where weak mentally when she got with him. So now when you're already mentally weak and you're coming across somebody who's an abuser, they take advantage of that. An abuser can recognize the side. They can easily pick up somebody who's weak. They can see it. They prey on it. They can see it from a distance. He told one of his workers, I think it was David James, had testified. He testified early last week. He was like, yo, Diddy told me, I got her where I want her. He already knew. He already knew, oh, I got this one. Because he understood the vulnerability of her, the weaknesses. He knew. She had probably already shared certain things with him to where that it had for him to say, you know what? She said this popped off with her, so I'm going to kind of prey on that. Because here's the thing, ladies, some of you probably have experienced it, men too, where you let someone know about your past, your traumas, and then they prey on that. They do things that's centered around some of the things that you shared with them. Like, say if you maybe was in a relationship and you shared with them that there was verbal abuse and a person called you dumb or stupid or told you was ugly, they will do that very same thing. So they're kind of picking at the scar that you already have, because they already know that that's a sensitive area for you. And Cassie talked about how Diddy knew that she had insecurities, and even though that she had these insecurities, and she would say out loud, how she felt about herself and whatever, he would still say things to feed into them versus building her up. She said sometimes, he'd say nice things, but a lot of times it was like him saying meaningful things when he already knew I was insecure. That's what I'm saying. This man already knew that she had a weak foundation when he embarked on her. Whatever year that was, I think they made around 2007. It's crazy. It's sad. But this is what happens. Devin says, ex left me when I was severely depressed and spiraling towards giving up in life. When I asked for some closure, she said when I was close to ending, she used to get excited that she finally gets some. Yeah. People will prey on you. They will. Sick people will, not healthy-minded people. And Cassie, it's like she's a victim, but at the same time, there's definitely, I believe two things can be true at one time. Cassie was with this man for 10 years, 10, 11 years. So I believe that early on in the relationship, no, I didn't view her really as a victim. She was a participant. And until the day when she said, I don't want to play anymore, which was later in the relationship. Early on, I think it started out where it's just like, okay, He got this lifestyle. He said he can make my, what's up? Good morning, Dr. J. He said he can make my life better. He can do this for me. He can do that. I'm here for it. So Puffy sold her a dream, backed with money. So she was like, it got her attention because it was a different type of lifestyle than what she was accustomed to. So she went with it. The shenanigans. Okay, well, I want you to do this. We gonna do this. Okay. Because in her mind, it's just like, well, he's telling me these things that I can get, how I can have this amazing career, this lifestyle. And he's saying, I just got to do this. Okay, well, I'm going to do it. You see what I'm saying? So when you got that mindset, you're not a victim. You are now just being, you got the carrot dangled over your head or in front of you. So you like, okay, if you're saying that's what I got to do. Okay, I do it. But what I'm going to say is that she didn't know at that time that he was never going to give her the things that he was promising. It was going to always be that. But it was presented to her in a way of, okay, well, just do these things. I got you, just do this. So she did it. And then it took a long time for her to wake up and come to accept the fact that I'm going to be doing these things forever, ever, and not getting the things that he promised me in turn. So that's when I feel she came to a place of saying, okay, I don't want to play no more. I don't want to do this no more. And then that's when he's like, well, what do you mean? Why? And that's when the coercion, the things that kind of got, said about, okay, him saying I got to do this or that, because she got to a place to where she seen by doing those nasty things, it wasn't getting her what he promised. So she started out saying, this is my belief. She started out saying, okay, I'm going to do these nasty things because it's going to get me what I want. But after a long time of her doing those nasty things, she's seen it wasn't getting her what she wanted. So it's just like, okay, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And then at that time, it became a problem when she'd want to get away. The whole time it was a mind F, it was psychological. But I do believe that when she first started doing the freak offs and the things, it was because it was like, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to do them because you saying if I do it, you're going to do this. So her doing those things, she was thinking about the trade-off. And she was expecting for him to come through with the promises that he made. Remember, she was a singer. He signed her. She signed a deal to make 10 albums. She only to date has done 1. So she thought like, yo, I still got 9 albums to do. Yes, I'm going to do these because I got a contract with him. So we got to eventually do this music. All right, he's saying, all right, in order for me to get this music out, I need to play these type of nasty, do this. All right. Oh, damn. All right, I'm going to take one for the team. All right, with an exit, wherever. I got to get something in my system. I got to mentally psych myself out to get through this, because this is what has to take place in order for me to get what I want. So she did it and did it and did it until it came a time where she did not want to do it anymore. That's why I say 2 things can be true at the same time. She can be a willing participant, but she can also stop wanting to be a willing participant. I just don't believe that the entire time she was with this man, she was doing things against her will. I think there were times where she was, and there were times when she wasn't. That's how I feel. It's a long time. And the longer she stayed, the harder it became for her to get out. Just Say When says, I believe in the beginning she was a victim, but when she left the relationship, she was a co-conspirator during the dirty deeds. Amanda said, can Cassie sue Bad Boys for a breach of contract? That's an interesting one, but y'all know a lot of these different suits and things, they be having statute of limitations. So who knows? I haven't heard that one come up yet. I learned about the whole 10 album things once the trial started. So who knows? She got 20 million. So maybe that was kind of wrapped up in that with the 20 million that she got from him. Because remember, she sued him for 20. I think she had asked for 30. She got 20. That's what they settled at. And then she got the other 10 that she didn't get from him by suing the Intercontinental Hotel. So she still got 30. She just had to like piecemeal it together, but she still got her 30. So I think financially she's good. I mean, I don't feel like there's any more lawsuits and things like that she needs to file. She 30 million good. But even with all that money, as we count her pocket, we count her pockets, see what's in her pockets, it still doesn't do anything for her psychologically, mentally, like none of that. All the money in the world cannot remove the psychological, the damage that's already been done to her. Okay, Dr. J. All this, yeah, it's like, so she got a lot of money, but this right here, y'all, this, I hope the husband, Alex Fine, is mentally, is in a good place, because Cassie is so gone up here, and she's raising now 3 small children. Those kids really need a parent who's mentally and emotionally strong, stronger than Cassie, because Cassie has endured a lot. Cassie is struggling to keep her own ish together. So the idea of her caring for some kids, and her husband knows that. It seems like, from what I get, he seems like a very hands-on type father, good guy, good man. He's very attentive to Cassie. So it gives that he's that same way with the children. But they need him. So as people have these conversations about that man leaving one day, my money on, if he leaves, he's going to take the children with him. It ain't going to be, okay, he paying child support. No, them babies going with him. Because if he leaves, it's going to also be rooted in him feeling like psychologically she's not there. She's not fit. So it'll be a situation to where if there's any child support being paid to anybody, she'll be paying it to him. She'll be getting the visitations, because he is going to be able to easily prove that he is the better parent. Oh, don't think that her past indiscretions is not going to be used against her. Do not think that that's not going to be brought up. It's not going to be hard for him to prove that she ain't it. She ain't the one. Especially if he go down the line of following the trial, how things got worse. Because all of this, you all, is on record. Cassie, so it's a household name right now for the world. So it's going to be hard for him to present his case to say, hey, these are the reasons why the children need to be with me. She had an infamous court case centered around Diddy, where she got on a stand and testified to the things that she endured. And what I'm saying today is that she is still living with the effects of all of that. So let me talk to you about what's taking place at home in a household as a result of all those things that she testified that took place to her. Y'all see what I'm saying? Sometimes in a relationship, yeah, those things that you share that people come to know, it comes back up again. And sometimes it can be used against you. And I don't feel like he's going to maliciously use anything against her. I just think that she's just, for understandable reasons, just got a lot of just issues. OMG said facts. Take the 30 mil and go live in France or Seoul. So yeah, he's going to do, I feel like, what's best for him and the kids. And it's going to mean, and it's not going to include her. So when he does leave, he will be getting a part of that money. She was awarded that money during the marriage. And then he's going to be leaving, my prediction, he'll leave with the children. They'll still be minors. He'll still need to take care of them. He'll argue still have them having them being accustomed to a certain lifestyle. So he gonna walk away with a nice amount. He might even walk away with a nice amount and her still having to pay child support. He might walk away with a cool 10 million. I think he'll be good with 10 million. He'll walk away with a cool 10 million. And then her still paying child support every month for the kids until they turn 18. Some think he'll leave sooner than later because the money is right there right now. But y'all know sometimes people run through money super fast. 30 million. 30 million is 30 million. But everybody don't spend money the same. How long would that 30 million last? I believe they're still living in Connecticut. So it's not as expensive as California where they were. But again, you don't know how people spend money, how people run through money. Cassie just overcame a drug addiction. Prayers hopeful that she stays off of drugs, because usually a lot of people who are on drugs, they start to go through money fast. Drugs can be expensive depending on what type of drugs you're on. So that's a quick way to run through money. So hopefully she stays away from that, because that would help to kind of preserve the money. So time will tell, but yeah, I got him to definitely leave with the kids. I got him to be gone probably in the next 5 years. Probably about the next 5 years. Yeah, I don't see from now and hitting another 10 years and him sticking around. No. I mean, because even you all with this trial and talking about things, that's triggering. That's her having to kind of relive a lot of things. Things that maybe she tried to forget that they brought up in court because you don't remember everything. So I'm not going to even say everything that the defense brought up, Cassie really even remembered happening. But as they started kind of reading the text messages and things, it started to maybe jar her memory. But at the same time, if you're on drugs and things at that time, you just doing whatever. So she wasn't on there denying the activities. I'm just saying it's likely that hell everything that they were saying, she forgot that she even participated in, because it was a long time ago, and as well as she was intoxicated, she had alcohol consumption, drugs, she just forgot. Like as though like when Don Richard or Richard, however she pronounced her name, from the music group Danity Kane, the singer, she said that she saw Cassie get beat. Let me see. Hopefully my connection come back. Can you all hear me? Are you all there? Looks like I went into a blind spot. Can you hear me? Can you all still hear me? Okay. Let me know, someone in the comments, if you can still hear me. It looks like, okay, thank you, Rita. Start buffing. I want to make sure you all can hear me. Thank you so much, PM. So Don was like, I seen this woman get beat, and he had the pan, and she was trying to make eggs. He pulled the pan off the stove, and his team were like, well, hell, when she was on the stand, she didn't say all that. She didn't say she got beat with a pan. She didn't say all that. And as I'm saying, Cassie went through so much to where I'm not going to sit up here and say that she remembers everything. But at the same time, she only has so much time to be on the stand. So I don't know who realistically will look for her to just sit on the stand and run down everything this man did to her. Because a lot of times, like when you're on the stand, you're sitting there as they ask you specific questions. So had it probably been inserted, hey, Miss Ventura, was there a time you were beat with a pan? Then she could elaborate. But from what I seen, it was like she was on stand and they were asking her questions about a certain period of time, and she kind of was answering from there. So I'm not gonna put a lot of weight on it that, okay, well, Cassie didn't talk about being beat with a pan. Okay, well, damn, did somebody talk about that time period or ask a specific question about being beat with a pan? I'm sure there's a lot of incidents that she didn't go into on the stand. It's only so many hours. She was on the stand for what, about 3 days, 4 days. So it's like, okay, you're not going to get it all, but you get the gist of what popped off. You heard enough. You seen the video footage to where, okay, you hearing about the story with her being beat with the pan and then her being drugged up and down intercontinental hallways. We see what was taking place. We got the story. We got the story. Like, I don't have to see the woman getting her eye socked for me to see her after she got her eye socked and she said, he socked my eye. I don't have to physically see him sock her and punch her in the eye. That's just all I'm saying. So that just to me didn't mean a lot. And I'm going to say probably likely for the jury, wasn't a big deal either that Cassie did not say that, because there was a lot that actually was said. And there was pictures and video footage and things like that. So JJ says some symptoms of society that is built by broken families. So in all, it's not looking good for the Diddler employees who did work for him. They felt the need to get away. As I said, FONZWORTH Bentley got away. I'm not quite sure. Maybe someone can look it up when he got away, what year he left. But he did leave Diddy eventually. Made his way to Atlanta. Created a family, have a beautiful wife, 2 beautiful children. And he's been living his life. And as of May 20th, it just got interrupted with him being slapped with a lawsuit alleging sexual assault at the hands of him and Sean P. Diddy Combs. So he's gonna have to defend that, just like when Jay-Z got hit with his named in a lawsuit and he had to, come out and fight it and say something, whatever. This is what you do. So look for FONZWORTH Bentley to be coming out very soon with a statement being made, because these allegations, they're nasty allegations. And like I said, he's created this new image of being a family man. Go to his Instagram, look. His lifestyle don't look like Sean P. Diddy Combs' lifestyle. It looks real different. It looks like a suburban American lifestyle. Beautiful family, everyone all smiles. It looks like a lifestyle of just, just an American family where they just minding their business, taking care of home, taking care of children. Like, his lifestyle looks real different, y'all. It don't look like what it looked like back when I said I was watching him on Making the Band and he was P. Diddy's assistant and doing all those things. But here's the thing. Just because you do what they say was done in the dark come out in the day, and just because what you were doing in the 90s is different than what you're doing today, Chris Brown learning that. Chris Brown is learning that right now. He just got released on what they set that bill at, about $7 million? About $7 million? Just because you did something and at that time you walked away thinking you got away. You just kind of walked at that time. You just kind of was able to walk and leave the scene on that day. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to be dealt with. It doesn't mean you're not going to be dealt with. So you can't sit in, well, I'm a different person today. That's not me anymore. Okay, well, I get that, but you have to be dealt with for the things you did still. You still have to be held responsible for the things that you did, regardless of the time period in your life you did them. FONZWORTH, I think he's about 51. So when I did the calculations, he was like in his late 20s when this alleged incident happened, where the man, Kevin Dwayne Pittman, is alleging that Diddy and FONZWORTH Bentley essayed him, gave him drugs, alcohol, coerced him into non-consensual sex. When I did the calculations, Diddy and Fonzworth Bentley would have been in like their late 20s, maybe about 27. So they definitely was like grown. But I just don't know the age of this plaintiff. I mean, the age. I don't know the age of this plaintiff right now. I just know that he brought 2 guests with him to this party where the alleged assault took place. And the 2 young girls were ages 13 and 14. So their ages were named in the lawsuit. 2 female girls, 2 females, ages 13 and 14. And the same things that he's alleging took place upon him, he said that same thing took place on the 2 young girls. Y'all think the 2 young girls are going to come out? I hope they do. I hope they do. I hope they do. If this happened, I hope that they are courageous enough to come out and, you know, share their story or file their suit, do whatever. What do you all think motivated this man right now to come out and file the suit? Because as I've been watching the Diddy trial, y'all, I've been counting his pockets. I've been in his pockets and I've been pocket watching, and I've been wondering how much money has he lost as he's been fighting these legal case. Like, y'all think about it, because this man, going into trial or into the whole pre-Cassie lawsuit, he was worth $1 billion? Okay, so we know he ain't worth no billion no more. It's a matter of, okay, how much millions he has left. I heard he got around 300 million, estimate around 300 million left. I don't know. Y'all let me know how much money y'all think this man got left in the bank. Because Cassie done already testified and said she got 20 up out of him. I've heard estimates that his legal fees already probably have been at about 100 million. So what we got left? And then how much of his money is in liquid? Like, how much can he access? How much he had, multiple properties. So how much of his money is in his properties? I've been given thought as of late. So the twins, they recently had prom, high school graduation, all of that. Supposedly that's the reason why they weren't last week or coming off of this week in court, is because they were preparing for, so it would have been not this week, the week before, they were preparing for these milestone events in their life. So they were like, no, they didn't show up to court because they have graduation, prom, and all of that. All right. I've been giving thought as to what are these young ladies are going to do for money when they graduate, and now they're adults. And as adults, we're looked to kind of support, take care of ourselves. Remember, the mom is no longer with us. Daddy in a whole situation to where it's just not looking good for the kid. It's not. Money on lock. So nobody's accessing like these monies in a bank account and things like that. So who's supposed to keep up the lifestyle for these young girls? Because Chance still has her mother. What's her name? Sarah? Was her name Sarah? Chance still has her mother. All his kids still have their mom. Justin still has his mom. Justin grown, but he still got his mama. Christian, King Combs, Diddy's old son with Kim. Jesse and Delilah, who do they have? Who do they have? So if Diddy is gone, the money is kind of locked up because they're trying to figure out, okay, how he got to it, any legal indiscretions he did, like what happens to the livelihood of these kids? And then if people come out with these lawsuits and people getting 7 figures from each lawsuit that is filed, and when you see how many people who are alleging that they were victims of his, and then now if he's found guilty and people coming off of that file civil lawsuits, and they support the civil lawsuits with the outcome of his criminal trial, or they try to. You see what I'm saying? To where it's going to strengthen a lot of people's cases. Those who allege I was abused, I was coerced, all this and that. This man, if they come following this man being found guilty of these things, or even like with this young new guy, Kevin Pittman, he's filed his during the trial. He probably went ahead and said, hell, I need to do this now because this man about to have 50 cents in the bank in the next 90 days. So let me go ahead and get mines rolling. So therefore I can be first in line to access the monies that he gonna have left. He's like, listen, because people are coming. People are coming with the lawsuits. It's not looking good. So let me just go ahead and just get this on and popping now. Let's just go ahead and just let's just get in line now, because it is going to be a line. And Elard, yes, you say you can't just call it like that. You need to go to court and have proof. I get that. But what I'm saying is it doesn't help that this is also on record of taking place. So yes, you got to have your receipts, your documentation. But it is going to strengthen your case with your receipts with what's popping off now. So this is in addition. This is in addition. This is going to help out. It's going to help the cause. It will help the cause. It's not going to work against it. I bet you that. It's not going to work against it. It's going to be more favorable. It's going to accompany your receipts. It's going to accompany it. So I think this person, they're like, listen, like he's about to go down. So let me just go ahead and just file my little paperwork right now. $7,500,000. $7,500,000 is Kevin Dwayne Pittman is asking for in this lawsuit filed against Sean P. Diddy Combs and FONZWORTH Bentley for an alleged sexual assault that took place on May 20th, 2003, following a Sean John fashion show at Lenox Mall. There was a party at a hotel that FONZWORTH Bentley was invited to, as well as two young underage girls, ages 13 and 14, were invited to this party. At the party, all three guests, FONZWORTH Bentley and the two young girls, ages 13 and 14, were coerced. This is what's alleged in a lawsuit, were coerced into non-consensual sexual acts. They were giving pills, which he states he came to learn that was ecstasy. They were giving alcohol, and they were just straight taken advantage of. They were threatened with acts of physical violence. This man says he was violently essayed. He said he still lives with the scars of it today. The psychological scars, the physical scars, the emotional scars, all of that. He said he been struggling bad. He been struggling real bad since that incident back in May 2003. And he's asking for $7,500,000 for the damages. He's filed a civil lawsuit this week on May 20th, 2025, he filed a lawsuit. He said, listen, where my money at? I need to be paid out because, listen, I'm messed up. Hell, Cassie ain't the only ones going psychologically messed up. Cassie, the dog, Cuddy dog. Listen, the former staff, they are not the only ones who are messed up by this man. I'm messed up too. So I want my payout as well. RZA, you said how old was he when he happened? That's the thing. I don't know, because when I was reading the lawsuit, I didn't see it said his age. But it said that at the time, he said he was there at the mall when he met Diddy and FONZWORTH. He was there doing his duties as a talent agent. So going off of that, it leads me to believe he was at least an adult, 18, because he said he was there working as a talent agent. But I'm not quite certain how old he is. That's the information I have not yet learned. I learned about this lawsuit like literally late last night when it hit the internet. So this morning I decided to talk about it during my walk and talk because I know that it's very fresh news. A lot of people may not be familiar with it just yet, but you will come to hear about it more and more as the days and the weeks progress, because FONZWORTH Bentley's name is named in it, and he's been quiet for years. He's been very quiet. And there has been a lot of people calling him out, summoning him, saying, hey, FONZWORTH, we need to hear from you. What do you have to say about all of this? And he had not said anything. Just like Jay-Z didn't say anything and hell until his name got named in a lawsuit. Then he was forced to have to come out and defend himself. And then once he did that, you know, the lawsuit, you know, it went away. However, it went away. FONZWORTH is going to have to do the same thing. Now, we're not going to say we don't know if he's going to have the same outcome as Jay-Z, where it's going to be able to go away, be debunked, whatever. But what I'm saying is that he is going to be forced to have to step out of his comfort zone, step out of his beautiful suburban home here in Atlanta, Georgia, with his wife and children, and make a statement. He's going to have to defend these allegations. You know, he's going to have to defend these allegations. And right now it's centered around money. Will we hear about settlement? A lot of people feel like, ooh, when somebody settled, that's an automatic admittance of guilt. What do you think? Do you feel like when someone settles, that's you admitting that you are guilty? Or do you believe that sometimes people settle just to get things, get rid of things because they just don't, they want it to go away? I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both, but we'll see, because this man is asking for $7,500,000. So I guess he like, hell, I don't care who, but Puffy, you pay it, FONZWORTH, you pay. I personally don't believe FONZWORTH got millions, but I don't know. I don't know what he got. He used to sell bow ties, I think, when he was with Diddy. I think I remember, because remember he was known, he would wear the bow ties. And I think he ended up having like a brand where he sold like bow ties. I don't know if that's still a thing. So I don't know how he's getting to the money since he left Diddy. But like I said, what I've come to see, or the glimpse that I've taken into his life, has just been what I can see on the internet from Instagram. And he has a lot of pictures of like himself and his family. It's just given that he's just lives just a regular low-key life. Just a regular suburban family. Nothing glitz and glam about the pictures or anything really like that. So I'm not going to say that he got it like that to pay out the $7 million. But he going to have to come through with something. He going to have to get on that Tasha K Cardi B payment plan. FONZWORTH going to have bow ties. It's going to be saying, I ain't got it. But he going to have to come through with something. Jay said, is the Biebs taking a stand? Justine Bieber said that man ain't done nothing to him. So I'm going to say no. I have not heard that his name has been added to the witness list, but he did come out. He did come on record like a week ago to make a point to say, I am not a victim of Sean P. Diddy Combs, period. So that's all we can go off of, what he's saying. He's saying I'm not a victim. But who is saying they're a victim is Kevin Dwayne Pittman. He said, yes, I am a victim. Just because the Biebs say he not a victim, they ain't got nothing to do with me. I am a victim. That man took my cookies. He took my cookies. I got witnesses. It was 2 young girls. So like I said, I want to know, yeah, I'm interested to see if the 2 girls are going to come out, because given that he didn't name their names, from when I was reading the lawsuit, their names wasn't named in the suit. But I'm wondering if he knew their names, their full names. And also, let's just say he didn't. And this lawsuit gets to circulating, people talking about it like I am. Happy Saturdays, like the video. Well, those 2 girls hear about this lawsuit and be like, yo, that was me. I was there. And they raise their hand, reach out to the attorney, and go ahead and just join the suit or file their own separate suit. I'm just saying, because you know what happened to you. So if you hear a story that someone's telling and it's your story, it's the same, like the details of it all, you were like, that's my story. I was there. I was there. That's me who they're referring to. I'm that 13-year-old girl. And then that girl, I'm sure she probably knows who the other person is. Or if it's the 14-year-old, who then 14-year-old know who the 13-year-old is. They probably know each other. Maybe coming off of that event, kind of for moral support, stayed in contact with each other. But if this man didn't know their names, I can see how with this case circulating, those girls, those now women, come to learn of the lawsuit, and they would very much so be able to say, like, oh, snap, that was me. Everything that he's saying, that was me. I was there with him. I was there with him. Just Fact says, was the lawsuit filed by a lawyer, or did he file the lawsuit himself? It was, I was looking for on the, so the pages that I saw on the internet, I didn't see the pages that I saw before I went live, because I was looking to see the name of the attorney. So before I went live, I did not take notice of, there was a name of an attorney on the, like the last page, Agnafilo, but I feel like that's somebody from Diddy's side, but it had an attorney's name, Agnafilo or something like that. And that name sounded familiar. So I don't feel like, I don't know. I'm not sure on that part. But there was a name on like the back page, but it gave me the impression that it was attorney for Diddy's side. That was on the back of what I was reading. But you all can find these documents. Just Google lawsuit filed against Sean P. Diddy Combs and FONZWORTH Bentley, because it wasn't hard for me to find, because I initially saw like a content creator, like he was just reading it and showed like the first page. But then when I went to the internet to try to see if I can see like the full document, I came across like maybe like 3 pages, or whatever. So go to the internet, put in, you know, new lawsuit filed against Sean P. Diddy Combs and FONZWORTH Bentley and then the plaintiff name is Kevin Dwayne Pittman. Kevin Dwayne Pittman filed the lawsuit. So you should get it to come up, and you can see like if it was filed. But I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna say there's an attorney involved, but I can't say for certain. And given that the amount of money that he's asking for and everything, so yeah, it's crazy, yo. But this is a situation, another case for Diddy to fight. Good morning. It's another case for him to fight. I don't know who be in the courts, who fighting more, Diddy or Trump these days. Everybody filing the papers on Diddy and Trump both these days. But play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Our actions have consequences. And I personally feel like right now, Diddy is dealing with the consequences of the error of his ways. Did you all see the circulating clip with Diddy sitting down talking with Trump? I don't know what year it was, but it's like this short, kind of like a small video, and they were sitting down with each other talking. And Donald Trump was, this was years ago, so Trump was just a businessman then. And Diddy and him were talking, and Trump was just talking to him about just like his life decisions and things that he was doing, and just moving better. And Diddy was just very kind of, you know, being Diddy, arrogant, like, man, like, the only difference basically between me and you probably is just you just haven't gotten caught with the stuff you doing. Like, it was just given like Diddy wasn't picking up like, yeah, I need to start moving differently. Stop doing this stupid ish. It was more so like, maybe I can kind of maybe move a little differently to where I can do a better job with covering up the things that I do. Y'all, it's out there. Look for it. Someone has shared it with me yesterday. But it's just a Diddy and Donald Trump conversation. And Donald Trump was like, yeah, you're going to have consequences to the things you do. It just comes down to how you handle those consequences. Like, what do you take? What's your takeaway? Are you learning from the situation? And y'all, it just went over Diddy's head. It just went over his head. All he wanted to focus on was saying, well, I mean, I'm sure you did stuff too. It's just that you just say, and it's just like, okay, Trump was like, yeah, you know, I've done stuff. I'm not in trouble now. But yes, I've done stuff, but it's about the takeaway from the situation, from the experience. We all do things, but what the saying is, we live and we learn. The goal is to learn life lessons, to learn and not be a repeat offender to stupid-ish. Like you can't, like Diddy, let's talk about repeat offender. When they rolled up on him and arrested him, he still had all of the freak off things, the whole freak off kit, all the stuff that they found in his house when they did the raid. What, in March of 2024? No, let me see. Whenever they did the raid, I think the raid was in March of 2024. Like the Astroglide, the baby oil, all of those things, guns, like those, the things that they found in his homes. Because he had two houses, one in Florida and LA, they raided them both. Y'all, when they arrested this man, he still had like the Astro oil, you know, the Astroglide, the baby oil. He still had the things that he used for these freak-offs, he still had them in his possession for another freak-off, y'all, literally hours before he was to turn himself in. This is crazy, yo. That's why when they start throwing out this man psychotic, bipolar, all that, and I'm like, yeah, he's giving mental illness, all right, because ain't no freaking way you in trouble for some ish. You're in town to turn yourself in. The people roll up on you before you even go turn yourself in, and they still catch you with the ish that they found the year before, however far before. They got you on a RICO charge, and that's built into these charges right now. Like, make that ish make sense. Mika said he weird. Like, make it make sense. So again, as I say, the clip from years ago where Donald Trump was talking to him, like, yo, it's about like the outcome, like how you handling the situation, how you moving as a result of it, like afterwards. And he just basically was saying like, yo, listen, hell, I'm gonna do me and you do stuff and you just ain't got caught. Like, it's just a matter of, I'm gonna do me, continue to do whatever. And I'm out here hoping that I don't get caught. And I'm banking on that I'm not gonna get caught because I'm Sean P. Diddy COMBS. Basically, they were saying, when I was listening to something about when they had raided one of his houses, he had written like these affirmations written on his bathroom mirror centered around him just basically just being the ruler, the shot caller. Like he would just give, you know, and I'm all here for affirmations. But it's like his affirmations were centered around making people's lives a living hell, wreaking havoc on people. Not on some positive stuff like, you know, I'm a good person, you know, I'm lovable, I'm strong, I'm a survivor. It was centered around like just him being able to dominate people and control people. Just sick. Very sick. He said demon on that demon time. It's crazy. So I definitely believe that he has like, he's what I think on one of my lives I talked about a sociopath. I can see it. He got all the symptoms. I can see it, but it's not an excuse to get him off of, you know, get him out of these charges. But at the same time, I definitely feel like he's sick. And it's his responsibility to get treatment for whatever illnesses that he may have. If he does have mental illness, it's each and every one of our responsibilities to get the proper care for ourselves. As adults, we have the responsibility to acknowledge our situations and do what's necessary to get the proper treatment for it. It's not an excuse of going before a judge to say, well, I'm a sociopath, so that's why I did it. No, no, no. No, no, no. We need to know that you have been diagnosed, and then we also need to talk about what have you done as far as it comes to treatment. It's not a period because you have said mental illness. No. You have the responsibility to do the proper self-care. I used to work in a mental health facility here in Atlanta, and oftentimes when people would be admitted into the facility, they were there because they came off of their meds, their psychotropic medication. That's the medical term for those strong medications that people take for mental health. And many people, they come off of them. Why do they come off of them? Well, let's talk about it. A lot of them come off of them because they don't like the side effects. Some of the side effects, they'll say it has them to feel kind of like loopy or zombie-like. They don't like the feelings of it. Some will come off of the medication because of the stigma associated with taking said medication. They don't want people to think that they're crazy, something wrong with them. So they come off of their medication. What else? You got a lot of people who have mental illness who also struggle with drug addiction. So they start to take drugs. And when they're taking drugs, they're not making the best decisions. And that may include them not taking the medications that they are prescribed to take regularly. There's a multitude of reasons of why the people do what they do. But in all, it is their responsibility to take their medication as long as they are not admitted into a mental health facility. Because here's the thing, when people come into these mental health facilities, a lot of them don't want to take their medicine. But it's not an option when you're there. They will literally hold you down and force you to take them pills however many times that the doctor has said you need to take them. I've witnessed it. Most of them will willingly take their meds, but you have a good number of them will put up a fight, men and women. So they have staff there that will physically restrain you so someone can give you the medication. Because when you are in these facilities, you are required to take whatever medications that the doctor has prescribed. So the difference with what I was able to do, what I can do, like I can't prescribe medication. I cannot do a formal diagnosis. My credentials is just at a therapist level. A psychiatrist is the doctor level. So that would be the next level, one level above me. So I can talk all day long and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing play out in this person. This is what I feel the diagnosis should be. So it's almost like a soft diagnosis. But the doctor will come behind me, read my notes, and do the formal diagnosis to either echo what I said or say, no, I don't feel it's that, it's this. You see what I'm saying? Kind of like a nurse to a doctor. Y'all see the nurse doing all the work. The doctor come in, he doing the sign off. It's about whatever the doctor said. That's basically what it is. So if the doctor say you need to be on these medications, then that's what's written in the treatment plan, and the expectation is for you to take these medications. Don't think you're finna come up in these facilities talking about, I'm all natural, I do holistic treatment. It's none of that. And here's the thing, you all, this applies to children as well. The hospital I worked in provided treatment for children age 9 all the way through seniors. So I got to experience working with all the age groups, the different types of populations. So the adolescents, that was the kids. The seniors, I worked with the drug addicts, the people with severe mental health disorders. Like, so severe is gonna be schizophrenia, bipolar. Y'all, a hell of a combination is when you see the ones that got both of them. I didn't even know that was a thing. You running around with both until I start working at that hospital. I said, my. Yes. So that is a crazy, that's the combination you don't want. Some of you all may have seen it with people where they struggle with schizophrenia as well as bipolar disorder. And both of them are severe mental health disorders. So everybody is medicated in these facilities. Everybody's pretty much medicated in these facilities, from what I came to learn working in them. And many of them make their way, into those facilities because they came off of their meds. And so as a professional, the medical professional, such as myself, when I was working there, I had to write out treatment plans, for these people, learn, okay, why are we coming off our meds? What are we doing this for? And point out the reasons, point out all the reasons why it's important for them to continue to take their meds. Talk about what landed them back in the hospital. And then talk about, okay, how you can stay out of here. This is what you need to do. Then I also have to learn what kind of support you got. Who can help you manage all of this? Because a lot of people don't have someone. They're just out here just trying to survive on their own. So they don't have people in their life to kind of help them stay on track. So that is a thing. That's a thing. So that's why I say all this to say that we can't just put a period after the diagnosis. It's a bunch of other things that's followed up afterwards. It's a lot that's followed up after the diagnosis. So Puffy, he got a lot going on right now. It's not looking good for the kid. I personally don't see him walking. To me, every testimony I've seen, it's more damning, than not. I'm curious to see if or who they will have to as a witness for their side. So that would be the defense. Like, who do y'all think they're going to bring? Y'all think Carisha going to come and speak on his behalf? Where is Young Miami? Y'all think she going to take a break from her show and come and speak up for Diddy? Because remember at the award show, she was out there in the audience with signs and ish while he on stage giving shout outs to Cassie. She in the audience, I think her sign said, "I love you, Poppy," or something. This man on stage giving shout outs to Cassie while she at home with her husband. And I think at the time she had maybe one kid, maybe pregnant with the second one. She at home living her life, minding her business. And he on TV doing shout outs from the stage, professing his love. And then you got Carisha slow ass in the audience out there in the crowd holding up signs talking about, "I love you, Poppy." And this man ain't even acknowledge you. That stuff I'm talking about, y'all. She got some mental illness going on with her too, clearly. She clearly got something going on. She can be diagnosed her dang self, y'all. Good, well, how are you? She can be diagnosed her dang self. So y'all, what we gonna diagnose Carisha with? What we finna diagnose Carisha with? Because that right there. And she has not been on no day up in that courtroom. We done had all the baby mamas. We done had Misa in there. Well, we had Sarah. I think that's Chan's mama named Sarah. Y'all think Kim Porter would have been there if she was still with us? Y'all think Kim would have been in there? Where is Carisha? Where's Carisha? Word on the curb is that Gina's supposed to be testifying too. I don't know. But I need to know where Carisha is, because that man done bought her allegedly a whole award. Y'all remember she got the award for her podcast? People like, that man bought that. For her Carisha Please. Y'all remember she won an award for it? I don't know what the category was, like best new show or something like that. And everybody was like, all right, y'all, hold on. Let me stop my little timer on my watch and I can get into the comments. I've just wrapped up my walk, part of the talk, the walk and talk. But y'all, where's Carisha? All this man have done for her and she ain't nowhere in sight. Y'all think he asking the attorneys, have y'all got a hold of Carisha yet? I gave y'all both her numbers. What you mean she ain't picking up? Did y'all send her a text? Well, yeah, we texted her. She said, and she ain't responded to the text. Well, I think one of the texts she responded said we had the wrong number. The hell you mean she said you had the wrong number? That is her number. That's the phone I gave her. Well, she said she don't know who Carisha is. She don't know who Young Miami is. Carisha somewhere playing crazy, y'all. Listen, Carisha is playing crazy. Y'all remember when she was fighting on the internet with Gina? Y'all remember when Carisha was fighting on the internet with Gina, talking about, you need to shut up, Gina, for I get Diddy to make you get on your knees and do whatever. Y'all remember all that? Carisha, where are you? Where are you? Mika said Kim would have left his ass right there because she wanted a way out. Carisha, where are you? You had all this smoke, all this mess to talk. You was saying all this ish when you was going back and forth with Gina. Y'all remember Gina, the other Asian chick he was messing with? I guess he liked the Asian ones that Tasha K interviewed some years back. Gina said he had knocked her. I think Gina said he had forced her to have an abortion. I think the abuse had her to miscarry or something. She told some crazy story to Tasha K some years back. And then after the interview, probably before Tasha even aired it, that woman was still back in the bed with him, still back with that man. That stuff I'm talking about. Something wrong with all of them. I think the smartest one out of the situation is going to be Kid Cudi Dog. The staff, the two white men who was his assistant that got the hell on and didn't look back. I'm thinking that they're the smart ones, because these women in the situation, they acting slow. I don't know. These women, I think the dog was one of the smarter ones. Kid Cudi, the dog, the women, I don't know, the women down bad. It seemed like the men in the situation are moving smarter than the women. I'm just calling a thing a thing. The women the women acting slow. The women are acting slow. The dog and the men. I wonder if the dog was a male dog. Because right now it's given that the damn men are they like shit. He ain't even hit me upside my damn head. And I know I can't be about this life. Y'all think the dog was a male? Because right now the females, they acting real slow. They got us looking real bad out here. The females got us looking bad out here because they not catching on as quick as the damn men. The men like, oh, them white men was like, oh no. They was cleaning up at the Diddy house. Oh, they were like, oh hell no. Then I seen him throw an apple and hit the girl in the head. Listen, why the people who witnessing the shit say, oh hell no, but the people who are getting shit done onto them are still like holding on? Make that ish make sense to me. The ones who are witnessing it like, oh, hell no. The ones who are enduring it, y'all, they ride or die. They are ride or die. That's why I'm like, y'all think Kid Cudi Dog was a male? Because that dog was shook up like F. Kid Cudi said his dog nerves so effed up. His nerves so effed up. He like, yo, like, that dog like, listen, Cassie, I understand what you going through. Kevin Pittman, you say you got your cookies taken at the Lenox Mall. Listen, I understand because he done shook me up and my ish still ain't right. I'm still effed up. Women, we out here looking bad. We should not be enduring this ish the way and for the length of times that we are. We can't be doing this. We cannot be doing this. We cannot be doing this. And it's just sad, and it's only so long we can have excuses for the nonsense and the shenanigans. But hold on, let me put my phone on the holder. We can't be doing this right now. Like, I'm just like, ain't no way. Diddy done they said the mama didn't try to fight him, and she said he didn't extorted them out of $30,000 because he was talking about he had a sex tape or something of Cassie's. The best friend said he done beat her with the hanger, with the wooden hanger. No more hangers, no more mommy on some mommy dearest stuff. So she said F that, F the dumb ish. Who else? Kid Cudi messing around trying to think, he gonna date Cassie or whatever, and he seen what came along with it and was like, F the dumb ish. The dog ain't in right. The employees, the two white men who was in charge of kind of cleaning up at the freak offs, making sure everything was Gucci inside of the hotel before the freak off eventually said F the dumb ish. Everybody saying F the dumb shit, the dumb ish, except for the people who are having the dumb ish done onto them. Y'all, make that ish make sense. That's why I'm saying mental illness is all up in this situation. Because ain't no way Ain't no way. Mental illness is all up in here. It's not a matter of if the person's struggling with mental illness. It's a matter of what is it? What can you please let us know what your assessment is? We need your notes. We need your file notes on this, because it is clearly something ain't right with these people. That's why I say, women, you looking real crazy out here. You looking real crazy out. Like, what we doing? Like, look how, not only what we doing, look how long we doing what we doing. Like, it's only so long we can have an excuse for whatever. It comes a time when you have to take responsibility and be like, you know what? This ish right here, I got to move around. This right here, I can't, especially when it starts to trickle over into the family of your loved ones, your parents, your best friends, your dog. Like, when it starts to get beyond you, if that's not a sign to say, okay, enough is enough, just for the sake of, like, you love your people. You love your people. You're like, you know what? I was dealing with this when it was just me, but now you interfering with my mama, my daddy, my best friend, the dog. Like, Cuddy was like, he was ready to put hands on that man because of his dog. He messed with my dog. He's dog all shook up. Dog still ain't right. Nerves just shot. Just shot. I said, damn, this man, everybody, anything he encountered with, they just ain't the same. In a not good way. They just effed up. They're just not the same. RZA, you say greed, no souls. The devil is real, y'all. What's up, RZA? Let me see. Hold on. Manage word, shade chat, can review, move chat. Manage block orders and shit. Yes. I mean, at what point do we stop and we take responsibility and we be like, you know what? I understand how I got here. I understand how I got here. I understand this person is a monster. But I also understand that there's choices that we can make. And we can choose to do other things. And sometimes making those choices has us to feel uncomfortable because it's something different. But at the same time, you come to know that you got to do something different for the sake of surviving. Like, you have to. So you may have to struggle financially. You may struggle with getting food every night. Like, you got to do what you got to do. You can't keep on with the nonsense because you're saying, well, my livelihood, I still need to continue to pay for this luxury apartment, this mansion. Like, that's, and I feel like a lot of that, like, people don't really want to acknowledge that or talk about that. But a lot of Cassie's stand for as long as she did, I truly believe that it was centered around the resources. And if it is centered around the resources, you still have to take responsibility that, well, I was choosing to stick around because, well, this person is paying for where I live. That's not a good enough excuse to me for you to stick around, or for you to feel like, okay, well, I had to stay because if I didn't, I was going to be homeless. No, I mean, you can go to a shelter. Clearly, what we've learned from these testimonies is that her parents were in her life. Just like she took her husband and her kids in 2023 and they went to stay with her parents. Like, it was never an option, Cassie, for you to go stay with your parents. So they were there. You just didn't want to go there because going there, you don't have all the access to everything that you had when you was over here. So I believe there were times when there was abuse and things like that taking place where she was there against her will. But there were times where she was choosing to be there because of what came along with being there. And she didn't want to go without. So it's just like, well, let me endure this a little longer. But then it came to a point to where she was like, you know what? I don't even care about what comes along with me being here. Welcome, RZA. Welcome. Good morning. Yes, I need y'all to hold it down in the chat per usual, like any like on the She Speaks on it, because it can get crazy over here. I don't spend a lot of time over here But when I do, I need to know I got my solid team over here as well. So life's about choices. So that's why a lot of people aren't viewing Cassie as a victim. I think there were just moments where she was. That's basically what I'm saying. There was times where she was, and then there was times she wasn't. It's just at what point during the 10-year stint did she fall in the category of being a victim versus not? But he does acknowledge he preyed on her. So he said that to one of his workers that is like, yeah, she's an easy one. That's what one of the workers testified. So it's just unfortunate. The whole situation is a hot dang mess. Queen said there's a certain vices that keeps people, let me see, stuck in sometimes what they are seeking supersedes certain survival issues. By the way, you're beautiful. Thank you so much, Quinn. Thank you for your comment. You all welcome. Like the video, double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. Like the video. Just Say Win said, just Kid Cudi dog is on meds from the abuse Diddy caused it. Nobody is the same once they encounter this man. Let's talk about his kids. Do y'all think that any of the Combs kids have ever, including Quincy, who's Albie Shure's son, do you all think that any of Combs' kids have experienced or witnessed any of his abuse? Do you all think that Kim Porter's kids witnessed any of the abuse that's alleged to have taken place onto her at the hands of Sean P. Diddy Combs? Do you all think that any of Diddy kids have experienced abuse themselves? Verbal abuse, physical abuse. Because what I've come to see, an abuser is an abuser. Like, even though like if they're at home and they're being abusive to their partners at home, there are certain characteristics when they're away from the home. You see, y'all ever see somebody to where in public, like, so you're not even in a house with them, and you seeing the energy they give, and you thinking like, damn, I know that piece of work at home. You ever came across somebody where you like, I can only imagine what you doing when you out of here, because look how you talking greasy to these people here in this environment at work, men, women. And then you know this person got a whole family at home. They got wives, they got children, and you just wonder what life is like at home, because you see what life is like right there with you with that person, and you ain't even at the crib with them. Y'all ever see them type of people? Because what they say is, zebra don't change their stripes. A person is who they are. A person is who they are. So what you're seeing, that energy that they're giving to you, let's just say in the workplace, in that environment, it is likely that it's pretty much that on 1,000 at the house. It's that on 1,000 at the house. Lima, welcome. Thank you so much. So to me, with all these things that people are saying that Diddy did, this energy, to me, it doesn't make sense that he's turning that off when he's around his children. If they say that he's controlling, he's mean, he has an anger problem. When have you ever seen or heard talks of someone having an anger problem and it's isolated to just, it's in a box? Their anger problem is only to John. Their anger, they got an anger problem, but it's only isolated to John. Nobody else get the energy of this person and their anger and all that. It's just John to get that smoke. Y'all, this is not how it works. This is not how it works. When you look up any type of diagnoses for mental illness, when it does not align, it does not talk about, okay, these symptoms, these behaviors is isolated for the mama or the daddy. It doesn't say that. It talks in general like these are behaviors that you see that plays out. So that means anybody can get it. It's not isolated to individual people. So as I talk about the children, I raise the question of, What type of wrath have these kids felt at the hands of their father for whatever reason? For not listening to him, for not saying what he wanted them to say when he wanted them to say it, not showing up for him when he wanted them to show up. You're not turning that off. Do you all think that each one of his children have their own story? Maybe everybody right now except for Baby Love, because she's still a baby. Baby Love, to me, is going to have the little to no impact from what Diddy has done, because she's a baby. She's like 3? He's locked up. So much of her life, he has just been in trouble, and she was a baby, not going to remember. So out of all the Combs kids, Baby Love, to me, is the one that's going to fare out the best psychologically, because he didn't raise her, and it's looking like he's not going to be getting out. So that's favorable for her, because the experiences that her siblings, what they endure, she's not going to endure that. Fortunate for her. She's not going to have her story of what she witnessed, what he did unto her, because you cannot make me believe that the twins don't have a story. You cannot make me believe that any of his sons don't have a story centered around what they witnessed, the abuse or that took place onto their mothers, each of their mothers, the way he's talked to them, their mothers, the way he's talked to them as his children. Everybody getting his work. This man off his rockers. Ain't nobody exempt. Y'all see, the dog wasn't even exempt. Somebody then said the dog got Tootsie Roll. Y'all know what the Tootsie Roll mean? One woman who came out alleging that Diddy had essayed her, that raped her, she said once he pulled his pants down, and she's saying that thing was giving every bit of a Tootsie Roll, what she told herself was, well, at least it's not going to be painful. Listen, sometimes in the moment, you got to look for the positive. And she was like, listen, he about to take my cookies, but it's not going to be painful because it looked like a Tootsie Roll. So everybody's coming out. So if you ever hear the reference of a Tootsie Roll, that's coming off of this woman's statement of saying that's what it looked like. So now, remember I done told y'all Tia Cuddy showed up to the house after Diddy had came in there. He found his dog locked in the bathroom. Dog shook up. As they say, the dog's still on meds. And people are saying the dog got Tootsie Roll. The dog has got Tootsie Roll. So that's what I'm saying. Ain't nobody exempt from feeling his wrath. Not even the dog. Not even the dog. Workers, dogs, girlfriends, 304s, side chicks, baby mamas. Nobody is exempt. Nobody is exempt. But the ones who are sticking around the longest, y'all, are the women. The women are sticking around the longest. The one who's getting the brunt of the abuse, they are the ones who are hanging around the longest. The ones who are witnessing the abuse are the ones who's getting out faster. Christy Lee say no money in the world can make that Tootsie grow. Listen. I'm reading it all the series. Let's see what Tootsie Lee has to say. No money in the world can make that Tootsie grow. My. Listen when they say money, listen. Like Cassie got all the money in the world now. She's still psychologically messed up. Chrissy said, listen, Diddy had all the money in the world, even $1 billion, and his thing was still not thanging. People said maybe that's why he was having all them freak offs to have his women sleep with other people, because he knew like, well, he can't come through, he can't deliver. So he was getting his rocks off by having other people like the Punisher. Why y'all think they call the Punisher the Punisher? Y'all seen him on stand? I think he came on stand earlier this week. The black guy, the big tall Mandingo looking man. The Punisher, that was the name he went by. Why y'all think? I got to wondering every time they would say that name. I'm like, what does that mean? I wonder how he got that name. Y'all, I was wondering, they somehow, he looking like the lead attorney out there. Y'all know who the lead attorney is on YouTube? Listen, the Punisher was coming through. The Punisher was coming through. Chrissy said, damn shame you got all that money and that Tootsie on trial. It sure was. That woman said, listen, he about to take my cookies, but at least I know it's not going to be painful. That sounds like a woman who's half full versus half empty. She said, at least it's not going to be painful. Rilla said, please change the subject for the men's sake. I'm just saying, somebody said the dog got Tootsie Roll. Dog got Tootsie Roll. So, y'all, somebody check on Kid Cudi dog. Because Kid Cudi said, yo, I was ready to fight that man. They were like, Cudi, what were you going to do when you were driving back to your house? Because when he talked to Diddy on the phone, Diddy was like, yo, come, I'm at your house. I'm waiting on you. They were like, well, what were you going to do when you got there? He's like, hell, I was going to fight him. I wanted to fight him. I wanted to fight him. He hurt my dog. Everybody on meds. Everybody on psychotropic meds after fooling around with Diddy. Everybody on prescriptions after fooling around with Diddy. Meanwhile, he was the main one that needed to be on somebody's psychotropic medication for the mental illness that he had going on. But he the one, Pat, he giving away to everybody else. He like, no, I'm good. I got the X. I got the X over here. You can have that. You can have those ones. I don't need to get those for that prescription filled. Christy Lee says FONZWORTH charges just dropped. Is devastating. Yes. With the lawsuit, yeah. It did. FONZWORTH been minding his business, but here's the thing, you all. Just because he's been living here in Atlanta, I live here in Atlanta, he's been minding his business, but it doesn't exempt you from your indiscretions. What's done in the dark come out in the day. It doesn't exempt you. Just because you did something in 2000 and it's 2025, it doesn't now suddenly make what you did right just because time have passed. When there's been wrong done onto other people, even though you've been living your life, the person who had the wrong done onto them has been living with the wrong that they endured at your hands. You see what I'm saying? So just because you didn't found the love of your life and you got your kids and you live in the suburban lifestyle, it doesn't mean that for these past 20 plus years, the people who says that they were abused by you have not been having to live with the ramifications, the effects of that abuse. We gonna see if it's fake. I know that lawsuit filed wasn't fake. We gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if in the coming days, coming off of this holiday weekend, if FONZWORTH Bentley will come out and make a statement. Mika says people forget until it comes back around. Y'all like with Chris Brown. Chris Brown, when he got held up in prison in the jail in the UK, I thought it was some new stuff until I took a deep dive into the article and seen that it was a charge from like February 2023. So 2 years later, they got him. A little more than 2 years later. This man living his life, doing tours, looking to be doing better. Whenever I've seen him, he just looks more healthy. I hadn't heard about Chris Brown getting in any trouble since 2023. And just when he just thought that, he was just doing a doggone thing and he was on the up, he got hit with something from his past. It be like that sometimes. He got hit with something from his past and he's having to deal with it. Because just because it took place in 2023, it doesn't make it any better. It's just that you weren't dealt with back then, but we dealing with you now. So that man out on a $6 or $7 million bail, and then y'all apparently, I guess in the UK, y'all know here in the US with bail, you pay like a percentage. What you do, 10%? They said that man had to pay about $4.5 million, day one, just to leave, and then the rest, the difference, has to be paid in a week. So apparently, I guess in the UK they don't do the percentage. They listen, I'm gonna need for you to come up off of all the money. You got to pay all these millions. So he paid it. He's paying it. He paid, the amount he needed to get out, and then he still got to pay off the balance. And then they told him that he's free to do the tour because he has a show. I'll be at his show in August. He'll be here in Atlanta. So I wondered when they rounded him up if he was going to be out in time to do the tour, because initially last Friday, the judge had denied his bail. And they set his court date, I think, for June 13th. And his tour is supposed to start June 5th. So you see the court date was post the start of the trial. and the judge had denied him being released. So it was looking like basically his tour was going to be interrupted. And remember, he'll be here in Atlanta in August. So I have tickets to see him with my sisters in August. So I was, wondering like, wow, is he going to be here? We're going to have to get refunded. But then I just learned yesterday that he was granted bail and he's out. I guess preparing for his upcoming tour. As I said, Diddy about to get rat on everybody. They scared in Hollywood to New York and not going to hide his his list like the Epstein list. Y'all, I can see Diddy and his list or whatever he got come out before the Epstein. Who was granted bail? Chris Brown was granted bail in the UK I was talking about. I just kind of inserted his story since I was just talking about things that people do at one point in their life and then later down the road someone knocks on their door and want to talk to them about the indiscretions, the things that they did in their past. So basically, just because you did it in your past, it doesn't mean that you can't be dealt with it in the present. You see what I'm saying? I'm just like, it's just no time limit on like when somebody can come back and deal with you and address something that you did to them in the past. Like, and Chris Brown is seeing that right now because he's dealing with something that's 2 years old where he allegedly got into a fight at a club in the UK. Allegedly, he hit somebody over the head with a liquor bottle, stomped them, beat them, while they were on the ground. They were unconscious, all of that. This is what this man has alleged. Guess he filed charges, and it took 2 years for them to round up Chris Brown. They rounded him up when he was in the UK. Recently, he had did a tweet or something saying free Tory Lanez. And the folks rode up on him. I guess he dropped his location. They rode up on him in the early morning after midnight, around 2 a.m. They rode up on him at the hotel and arrested him. And he spent about a week, maybe a week and a half in jail. He just got released, I think maybe Wednesday. He probably got released maybe Wednesday. Michael says, oh, Chris Diddy. He thinks he can beat anyone. And a lot of people aren't sympathetic for Chris because they're like, he has a history of just doing the absolute most, which he does. He's been living kind of more of a quiet, low-key life, I would say, in the last couple of years. But it doesn't mean we forget about the things he's done in his past. Just the fact says Chris Brown and his management team have conducted due diligence to verify any outstanding warranties in Manchester before entering the jurisdiction, especially given the financial stakes of the tour. Yeah, that was millions of dollars. Most of these artists, from what I've learned about the industry, they make their money when they tour. That's where the money comes from, touring. Hey, Michael, welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I do my best out here. Let me see. I'm looking now at this lawsuit. And someone earlier had asked me about an attorney. Someone asked me about an attorney who filed the lawsuit. So I'm gonna turn this around so y'all can see. It's looking like it was filed by the plaintiff. So let me turn this around. So does this mean, can y'all see? Up here at the top where it says filer, Randy Dwayne Pittman. So does this mean Kevin Clerk? Let me see. Kevin Weimer. Okay. So plaintiff Randy Dwayne Pittman. Kevin is the clerk. Okay. I think earlier I was saying the plaintiff name was Kevin, but Randy Dwayne Pittman is the plaintiff. Kevin was the clerk. Y'all see that? Okay. So This means what? That there's no attorney. He's like, listen, I don't need no attorney to file this. I can do this myself. The documents filed May 23rd, 2025. Y'all see that date? We got the case number if you want to research and see what you find on that. California, Mountain View, California. So Randy Dwayne Pittman, I think earlier I misspoke. I was calling him Kevin, but his name is Randy. Randy Dwayne Pittman is the plaintiff. Christy Lee say, dang, we probably know before he even got served. Y'all know it'd be like that, where people get served in papers. And because I learned about it, it was after midnight. It was another content creator that had went live. And yeah, it was another content creator that went live. Because here's the thing, like, yeah, because today's the 20th. So yeah, that's right. I said May 23rd because today's the 25th. I learned about it like last night, probably like just after midnight. So he may have gotten it. I mean, if they did the overnight, yeah, I don't know. It's like we could have learned about it before him because he's locked up. So to serve him and all of that, it's not like he at the house and he can sign for this certified document coming to his door. He's in the he in jail. So I guess somebody got to send it to the prison, to the jail, and then he got listen. I don't know. I don't know how them folks be getting served. I just know that them people in jail can divorce their partners out here in the land, in the land of the free for $1. I remember years ago. I don't know if that's still a thing, y'all, but I remember people who were in jail, people that were in prison, y'all. I knew like they were able to file for a divorce for $1. $1. So I don't know how this worked with him getting relayed this message, but yes. But here's the thing. Let me see. Let me show y'all something else I found centered around where that had me kind of with trying to understand the role. You know, someone asked about an attorney. Let me see. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Let's see. There was a page and it had okay, let's see. Y'all see this? Someone was asking about an attorney. Agnafilo. Is that somebody from Diddy's team? That name sounds familiar. Or what does that mean? Agnafilo, or is that just a meaning of something? But when I saw that at the top, but y'all see that it says, Dear Judge, we respectfully request that the court order the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn to increase the number of phone minutes allotted to Mr. Combs per month from 300 to 500 minutes to allow for Mr. Combs to call his attorneys on weekends during and after court hours. Additionally, as we stated on record, we ask that the court order the MDC to allow for additional video teleconferencing until 9 p.m. every evening to allow for Mr. Combs to prepare for trial with counsel after court. So that was filed May 22nd, 2025. That was a day before this lawsuit was filed. I wonder did they know this lawsuit was on its way. Interesting. But this is a document, you know, next to the lawsuit documents, you know, on the internet that I came across. So wanted to share that. Okay, Just Fact says Mark Agnafilo is the lead defense attorney for Sean Combs. Okay, I knew that name sounded familiar. So, so that's a different document, I guess, that they also have saved here on the internet. I guess they had it saved. So remember I talked about what's outlined in the factual backgrounds. Y'all see that? The factual backgrounds of the case. Let's see, can y'all see that? On May 23rd, 2003, Mr. Pittman was performing his duties as a talent scout for Options Talent at Lenox Square Mall in Atlanta, Georgia, where a Sean John fashion show was being held. Plaintiff did not work for Sean John, nor was he affiliated with the fashion show. His presence at the event was solely in capacity as a talent scout for Options Talent. During the event, plaintiff was approached by defendant Derek Watkins. That's FONZWORTH Bentley. His government name is Derek Watkins, who inquired about his occupation and asked whether he knew any women who would be interested in attending an after party hosted by Sean John Combs. Watkins offered plaintiff entry to the party on the condition that he bring female guests along. Plaintiff agreed to attempt to bring guests to the event. Following the fashion show, plaintiff was introduced to Sean John Combs, who provided him with event credentials and instructed plaintiff to act as if he were a part of the Sean John team, including taking photographs of Combs during the event. Combs and Watkins later, let me see, so y'all following me here? Combs and Watkins later, so Combs and FONZWORTH Bentley, that's Watkins. Combs and FONZWORTH Bentley later directed plaintiff to bring 2 young females who were present at the event. So FONZWORTH Bentley and Combs had already scoped out two females who they wanted to be present at the event, at the party. They were like, yo, can you bring them? So I guess, the plaintiff, Mr. Pittman was like, all right, then, bet. So Combs and Watkins, or Combs and FONZWORTH Bentley, later directed plaintiff to bring 2 young females who were present at the event to a post-event interview at Rich's department store and then to a hotel. Y'all remember Rich's? It was a big department store here in Atlanta. It's not around anymore, I believe. But back in the 90s, like when I was in high school, like I moved to Georgia in 96 from California. I'm from the Bay Area. So we didn't have Rich's in California on the West Coast. It was, to me, almost like an equivalent to maybe like Macy's, I guess. I mean, for us, I was a kid when I left Georgia. So Rich's was like, a new store for me. So plaintiff and the 2 females aged 13 and 14 were transported to a hotel by members of the Combs entourage where a party was held and where the assaults occurred. While at the party, Combs and FONZWORTH Bentley provided plaintiffs and the 2 minor females with alcohol pills described as ecstasy and coerced them into non-consensual sexual acts through intoxication, manipulation, and threats of violence. Plaintiff alleges that he and 2 minor females were subjected to sexual assault, battery, and other unlawful acts by Combs and Watkins, aka FONZWORTH Bentley, during the duration of the party. As a direct and proximate result of the defendant's actions, plaintiff suffered physical injury, severe emotional distress, psychological trauma, and lasting harm. Basically, y'all, he suffered the same damage as Kid Cudi dog. I done told y'all the dog got abused too. The dog shaking, Kid Cudi like, listen, I want to put hands on Puff because he messed with my dog. He said the dog still ain't right. What I've come to see is anybody who encountered this man, they don't leave the same. They do not leave the same. Dogs, people, kids, and all. Puffy is an equal opportunist when it comes to his shenanigans. That's why I pose the questions. Do you all feel like his children have been exempt from his abuse? Any of his abuse? His physical abuse? His psychological abuse? Just Fact says, do they have any police reports or medical reports? So, This is all that I've found so far with, hold on, I got some text messages coming in. These documents that I'm sharing with you is like all that I've come to see so far with what's been said. I don't believe I've seen what's saying is one of 8 pages. So I've read to you all 2 pages. And then the information centered around like this, the millions, the money that he's asking for. It was another content creator who had mentioned that amount. So I don't know if he gained access to the full suit. I don't know if California you have to pay to get the documents. So the information pertaining to the dollar amount, the $7,500,000, that is information that I learned from another content creator who was reading through the legal documents, reading through the lawsuit. But these are, as of last night, these are the documents that I found just in my quick research centered around the case. This is what I found. And it basically was just the information centered around the allegations. But like I said, I feel like there's going to be more conversations had around this situation because this is big. Let me see. Let me do a search to see if there's been any new updates just since this morning, you know. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see what the internet has. Right now, let's do. Trying to see if there's some new updates because last night is when, well, after early in the wee hours, I guess, early this morning is when I learned of this lawsuit. So I want to see if there's anything out. I have not, let me see. Scandal alert, what is this? So it's just probably just some content, some people out here just talking about like what's going on. So it's the holiday weekend. It's the holiday weekend, so you can definitely expect for more information to be coming out because FONZWORTH Bentley, I mean, it would behoove him to respond, to say something because, listen, this is crazy. This is crazy. Hopefully this person who has filed this lawsuit do have like some type of police, some documentation or something. I hope. Something, some type of receipts. It has been some time, you know, what this all took place in May of 2003. So it's been some time. Thank you so much, Dr. J, for sharing my Cash App, $speak50. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, just, you know, liking the video, like, share, subscribe. Simple enough. I appreciate any support that any of you show. Just watching the content, listening to this information that I have to share. It's a lot. It's a lot. I've been doing my best to try to follow all these, the moving pieces centered around the Diddy case. And as of last night or early this morning, the lawsuit coming into play was just the most recent piece inserted into the whole Diddy situation. Amanda, you say, is there any truth to Justine Bieber taking the stand? I have not heard that he's taken a stand. I've heard that he's come out on record saying that he is not a victim of Diddy. But I have not heard anything about him being a witness. Let me see. What does the internet say? Justine Bieber testify. Let's see. Excuse me. The Truth 2 claims Will Smith testified against Diddy after shocking the yeah, all I'm seeing centered around Justin Bieber is just more so him addressing the ongoing sex trafficking. Basically, him just saying, yo, like, I'm not a victim of his. His people have come out saying he's not a victim of the crimes alleged in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial. So, as of right now, it doesn't look like he's going to testify, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Anything's possible. This trial is supposed to go on through until, I think, for like 8 weeks. So I think the 4th of July, sometime around then is when it's supposed to like end. So we're still fairly kind of early in the trial. So there's still probably plenty more people who will come to the stand. It's alleged that the Gina lady who he dated, who we heard Cassie talk about. Remember Cassie, and when she was on the stand, she spoke of Diddy cheating on her and her learning that he was still running around with Gina. I think she was out of the country doing maybe filming or something in Africa, and she learned that he was back home in the U.S. running around with Gina. So Gina was a threat to her. It's alleged that she's supposed to be like this secret person that's supposed to testify, but I don't know about that because she loved that man dirty draws. So I don't know, y'all. Listen, I don't know. Christy said, looks like he's trying to down it out in other ways. Yeah. Amanda says, it's hard to know what's real and not anymore with AI. Right. Christy said, I think he has something on Bieber where he was a participant to keep him quiet. See, here's the thing with Diddy. From what I've come to learn, what people say is that, I hope y'all can hear me okay. Somebody, next door, they're doing some yard work. But they say that his MO is to get you people in compromising situations. So therefore, he can kind of hold it against them later when he wants them to do certain things. Because allegedly, that's like names that I've heard that he has is like Steve Harvey. I think last week when I talked about the Diddy trial, and I think it was the first day I kind of talked about it, I asked what was, if anyone heard Steve Harvey speak on the case. Because remember his daughter, okay, thank you so much, Dr. J. Remember Steve Harvey's daughter, Lori Harvey, was dating Diddy a couple of years back. So I wondered if Steve Harvey was making any comments. And then, so following that live, I saw a video where someone had said allegedly that Steve Harvey was quiet and things like that is because Diddy had some dirt on him. He had him in a compromised situation at one of his parties. And this footage that he had of Steve Harvey allegedly was going back to like 20 plus years ago. So I'm like, oh, okay, so that's interesting. So that's what, I'm hearing, but it's supposed to be a known thing that he records his indiscretions, and it's for the purpose of blackmail. Because during the testimony, when Cassie's mother testified on the stand, it was said that Diddy tried to extort her and her husband out of money. I think it was maybe like $30,000. And basically it was like, hey, give me this money or I'm going to release this sex tape that I have with your daughter, Cassie. So the family went and, you know, took out money. I think took a mortgage out or whatever, another loan out against their home to come up with this money like they needed to come up with like overnight. And then they gave them the money. And then like within days, maybe like 5 days, like he gave them back the money. He put the money back in their account. So it was just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's the mind games for me. So that's why I say, y'all think his kids are exempt from these mind games? This abuse? Like, how? Why would they be exempt from any of this? Do you think one day any of them will tell their story? If they'll be courageous enough to tell their story and talk about their experience being in the home with him, their personal experience being a child of his, being an offspring of his, because everybody got a story. Even the dog, Kid Cudi dog got a story. Y'all, I'm not letting go of this dog. The dog has a story. The dog has a story. Rizza, you said, I believe he definitely got dirt on Steve and Lori, Jay-Z, and Beyonce, and many more. Mika says he is undeniably guilty for the actions he's managed to evade. In my perspective, it's only a matter of time before those things come back to haunt people like him. Did you all see where the Diddy twins, Jesse and Delilah, had went to like a Beyonce concert recently? I think it was in Los Angeles, and they were asked to leave. It was like a distraction, and they were asked to leave. They were asked to quietly leave the show. So you had some people who were not feeling that. They felt like, oh, they're kids, you know, but allegedly, like while Beyonce was on stage, Blue Ivy went behind stage, talked to security, and instructed for them to have the twins leave the show because they didn't have tickets. They didn't have tickets. They just showed up, and the energy kind of changed in the room when they came. So I think that was kind of what took the attention, what got Beyonce's Blue's attention, because it was like the energy just kind of shifted during the show. And it was because they had entered the chat. The twins had entered the chat. They entered the room, and you know, the whispers get to talking like, oh my God, look, like the Diddy trial is going on. Jay-Z's name at some point has been named in lawsuits that had also Diddy's name in it. So of course, when the twins enter into a room, all eyes is going to go on them like, what, wait a minute, and Queen Bee on stage? They like, wait, oh, it's going, listen, you know, everybody's sipping like, everybody was trying to sip on some, like, you know how you looking to see like, oh, you got your, everybody had their phone out. So they said Beyonce visibly looked, you know, uncomfortable or whatever. And Blue Ivy quietly, you know, she a little professional. She quietly slipped off stage, went and hollered at the security, and told them the twins got to go. Gotta go. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the F out of here. And they didn't have a ticket anyway. So they apparently showed up dressed to impress. I don't know how long they was able to stay, but just as quickly as they came, they got rolled up out of there. RZA said the twins was applying pressure. So the question is, were they instructed to go there? Y'all know how sometimes a person's present can speak 1,000 words. It's not really, y'all see sometimes in movies and things where somebody just shows up to something. They don't say nothing. They just kind of show up because their presence is just all that's needed. Like, you just finna see me. So do y'all think that the twins was on this type of time at the directive of somebody, they daddy, whoever, that was like, yo, just show up. You ain't got to say nothing. Just show up. Just show up. Make them uncomfortable. Because clearly the Carters ain't doing no favors for Diddy with trying to help him in this situation. You ain't seen Nan Carter sitting in that courtroom. outside with a free Diddy t-shirt on or a free Diddy sign for $20. You ain't seen nothing like that. So I'm wondering if Diddy has, if the directive was, hey, go, go on outside. Don't be in the house. Go on outside. You free to walk around. You free to show up where you want to show up. Just the fact says the government has a fictionary duty to ensure the safety of Diddy's children, so any foul play would likely have been uncovered during the course of the investigation. Wouldn't you agree? Here's my thing on that. How often do people endure abuse and don't talk about it? How often do people endure abuse and protect their abuser? We have to keep in mind that this is still their father. This is still their only surviving parent. So there's things that we got to kind of take into an account with how truthful someone's going to be. And especially if somebody's been brainwashed, if they've been led to believe that this is love, there's no problem with this. Sometimes I get in my moods, but I love you. So you want to protect your parents. Stockholm syndrome, that's a real thing. Stockholm syndrome. So I'm not going to go into saying that an investigation is always going to bring to light abuse when it's psychological abuse that you can't physically see, because not all abuse is visible. And actually one of Diddy's, that last guy, can't think of his name right now, the white guy, the last guy who testified, he was, his job, he was Diddy's personal assistant, and his job was to clean up the hotel rooms following the freak-offs, and also going into the rooms, like making sure that everything was kind of good to go. And his comment was, abuse isn't always visible. Abuse isn't always visible. And I happen to believe that the most damaging abuse is not physical. It's not visible. It's psychological. You're not going to see. I'm walking down the street. I walk past a person. I'm not going to see the psychological abuse that they may be enduring. Like, I'm not going to see that. If I'm going to notice abuse, it's going to likely be from the physical if I see bruises, right? But the psychological, emotional, like, I'm not going to see that. So abuse isn't always visible. You can't always see it. So it's just levels to it. You just have to understand. Just facts said phone calls, circumstantial evidence, anything. Yes, everything has to be done through investigation. So yeah, when it comes to the children, I'm just posing questions as to could anything have happened. And I don't think that, the kids probably have been questioned about things, but he's not on trial for abuse onto his children. So because of that, it's only so far the questioning is going to go. He's not on trial for child abuse. Like, not like that child abuse against his. That's not what he's on trial for. That's not what he's on trial for. So I don't think that the questioning to his children was that deep on that level. Those kids very much so could have just told them, no, my daddy ain't never done that. My daddy is a good guy. He loves everybody. Don't you remember when we called him Brother Love? Y'all remember when Diddy changed his name to Brother Love? So Stockholm syndrome is real. Listen, you got Quincy, I'll be sure's son, running around behind Diddy, sitting in his corner, when I'll be sure is accusing Diddy of being behind him being in the hospital. Quincy is his biological, that's his child. But Quincy is sitting in the corner of Diddy. You see what I'm saying? So you think Quincy is on record saying that Diddy is doing wrongful things to him or anybody? No, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You're not going to be on record talking about this person is an abuser, but then showing up for them in their corner. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, Quincy Quincy is I'll Be Sure's son. Yeah. But Quincy has allegiance to Diddy more so than his biological father, I'll Be Sure. So what I'm saying is that Quincy, when I talk about Stockholm Syndrome and how somebody will ride for you, regardless of what the truth may be, because of the control, Quincy is an example of someone who I can believe, if questioned about the indiscretions of Diddy, he's not going to admit to indiscretions taking place, regardless of who's trying to interview him. He's going to tell those people what they need to hear to get them off of his back and get them off of his stepdad, get them off of Diddy's back. He's not going to tell them the truth. I don't think any of the children right now will tell them the truth about potential abuse that they may have even endured. They're not there yet. A day may come where they may be ready to speak their truth and talk about their experience at the hands of their father, but I don't think that day is here. It's not here. Right now, for the twins and Christian, Diddy is their only surviving parent. Quincy views Diddy as his dad, even though like he has his biological father, I'll Be Sure. He looks at Diddy as the person who raised him. So it's like his allegiance is to Diddy, not his father, I'll Be Sure. He has his reason for why he rocks with Diddy more than his dad. He's riding out for Diddy. And that's not his dad. I guess that was his stepfather, if you want to call it that. But Diddy wasn't even married to his mama. Mika says Stockholm Syndrome is real. I know someone that really experienced that life. I think his children have a case of the Stockholm Syndrome. And these women who he had relations with had a case of it, including Cassie. Many believe that, hell, if Diddy had take Cassie back and he say, okay, we ain't going to do freak offs no more, she'll go back to him. Do y'all think that if Diddy called Cassie up right now and say, you know, say he get off, y'all think Diddy can pull Cassie again? If he say, listen, freak offs, like it just, listen, that's a thing of the past. We on some different type of time. Come on, let's roll off into the sunset. We were both younger. Let's put this behind us. Let's go. Let's go. You don't even need no bag, no clothes. I got you. Let's go. Y'all think that woman will fly off and run off into the sunset with this man? Because many people believe that she would. PM said, no, Cassie's eyes are open. Mika said the person is in the process of writing a book. Can we get the likes up? Please like the video, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for joining. Happy Saturday. So Christy Lee says, no, she's experiencing a real man now. Okay. Do you think that she still has feelings for him? Do you think she still loves him? So let's just say she's not going to, let's just say she's not going to run off into the sunset with him. Do you think she still has feelings for him? Christy Lisa, that Tootsie is in the past. You said she'd have moved on to bigger and better things. Do you think she still loves him? I personally think that she still has feelings for him. I think she still loves him. I think a lot of times people love people they shouldn't because the heart wants what the heart wants. I think she loves him. I think she loves him. She don't love the abuse, but she loves him, and she just wish he would just get that under control and stop that. Christy, you said, I think she loved him, but you said not anymore? Okay. Mika says, yep, money talks. That man happened quickly. PM says, no, I don't think she loves him. Okay. So that's the thing. You got some people who think that, I personally think that she still loves him. She said on the stand she don't hate him. But to me, the way I interpret that, well, hell, the opposite of hate is love. She didn't say she didn't love him. But she said, I don't hate him. She said, I love what we had. So here's the thing with that, with I love what we had. What y'all had was abuse. Like early on, like there was abuse. So I was wondering, like, well, what part of what we had, like what was it? Because when you run down the timeline of their relationships and the things that took place, it was foolishness. It was abuse. It was inappropriate things. Trauma bond, Toya said. So when you say, I love what we had, what falls in the box of those things? Can you elaborate, Miss Ventura? What was what we had? Because we've heard all the things, the craziness that was happening throughout the relationship. Don Richard testified that in 2009, so that was like 2 years into the relationship, because I think Cassie got with him maybe around 2007. She was around like 21 or something. So we know in the first 2 years abuse was popping off. So we're not going to even say, okay, the first half things was good. No, we know like the first 2 years he was putting hands and feet on you. We also know around that time there was the extortion in the sex tape, and him extorting the parents for the $30,000. Then I think with the 2018 was the hanger incident where he beat the friend with the hanger, which resulted in her having a concussion. I'm just trying to find out what we had. I love what we had. What was that? What was what we had? That's that stuff I'm talking about. So yes, I believe she still loves him. I still believe she loves him. I believe that she loves that her husband loves her. I believe she loves how her husband loves her. But I believe she's in love with Diddy. She loves her husband. You know, he's her caretaker. He's her rock. But I truly believe that she feels like Diddy is her soulmate. I don't believe she views Justin as her soulmate. I feel like she views him more of a savior. There's a difference. I believe she views him as her savior. But she's connected to Diddy. She feels like there's a connection there where they both have experienced things, traumas, abuse, whatever in their lives, and they've trauma bonded. So she's connected to him, which had her to constantly leave, and they get back to each other. Because on the trial, on the stand, they were like, so you would leave and then come back? She was like, well, no, I'm not saying that. She said, I would leave and then we would get back together. Like we would find our way back to one another. It wasn't me running back to him. It's just us kind of running back to each other. So yeah, that's just how I view it. Let me see. Just Facts say her husband FaceTimed her while she was having sex with Puff. I wonder why that happened if she was so terrified for her life. Even y'all, after what I learned with the Kid Cudi trial, and after Kid Cudi testified saying that he believes Diddy was behind the blowing up of his, I think it was a Lamborghini. He said that he ended up meeting up with Diddy at like some spot that maybe Diddy picked. And he walked in the room. Diddy was in there looking like he the king of the land. And then next walks out Cassie. And basically Diddy makes a comment or statement that forces Cassie to, in that moment, hey, pick who you going with. And Cassie stood next to Diddy. So Kid Cudi was like, he knew, like I got to leave them alone. They both crazy. So again, this man has blown up the car of the guy you like, who you say you're dating. This man have caused a concussion to your best friend. Like, he's done so many things, and she still was choosing him over the parents with the extortion out of them for the $30,000. The giving the best friend the concussion from when he threw a wooden hanger at her head, and it hit her in the head, and she bled. Kid Cudi, him saying that his dog was traumatized. They broke into his house. They rummaged through, because it was around apparently Christmas time. They opened up like gifts and things that he had in his home. His Lamborghini, his car was blown up. And this woman was still choosing the op, Diddy. She was still choosing him. She was still choosing him. She was going back. She was choosing him every time. And what's so sad, you all, when a lot of times when abuse and things take place is a lot of times the last straw when somebody leaves, it's not really anything major. Like, I done ran down all of that for reasons to leave, but that ain't why or when she left. From what I grasped from the testimony, her last straw was him running around with Gina. Not him getting into it with the extorted parents. Not him beating the best friend in the head with the hanger, causing her a concussion. Not him blowing up the dude she was messing with car, traumatizing the dog. Not him dragging her in at the hotel. Oh no, it wasn't none of that. It was he wouldn't stop messing with Gina. I said, yeah, I cannot. I think she said, yeah, when she was in Africa and when she learned he was still here in the U.S. running around with Gina while she was in Africa. I think that was like when she said it kind of what did it. It wasn't no time where she told him he had 2 pieces over the head one more time. He had drug her. No. It was a lot being told during these testimonies, but from my recollection, it was none of that being the last straw. It was him not leaving Gina alone, the other chick, the other side chick, because to her, this was the order. She said she was the main chick. Kim Porter was the side chick. And then Gina was the third one that came into play, being like the second side chick. But Cassie said, in her mind, y'all, Cassie said she was the main chick. She was number one. Now, mind you, she did testify, said she didn't get no Thanksgiving, holiday, or Christmas. But she was the number one. She said she got New Year's Day. She got New Year's Day, but she didn't get the family holidays, which is your Thanksgiving and Christmas. She said she never got any of those. It's always interesting, yeah, when I see what they call, when they say the straw that broke the camel's back. Because a lot of times that thing that causes the change isn't as big as a lot of the other things that took place. It's just the straw that broke the camel's back. Something that's so kind of light to where it's just like, you know what? I already was on the edge, but now you did this. I can't do it no more. Gina was like the straw. In comparison to everything else, Gina was the straw. Just say Wednesday, but she was the main chick. Listen, that girl said, listen, she didn't get no Thanksgiving, no Christmas. She never got a chance, was able to be around his kids, but she said she was number one. And that man got on the internet, got on Beyonce internet, and said that Kim Porter was his soulmate. I done told y'all, she said she was the main chick and Kim was the side one. This is what she said. She said she was the main chick. Kim was the side piece. So he done got on the stand. He done got on the internet. He got on the internet, you know, was that following right around when Kim Porter died, and said that Kim Porter was the love of his life. And Cassie felt the way about it. She called and told him she felt the way about him. Mika says, say it again, Sheik. Listen, these main chicks getting treated real different. Was the side chicks now getting treated better than the main chicks? Because the side chick, Kim Porter, was getting the holidays. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing out these questions. Amanda said, first assistant said Kim was queen. Sean told him that Cassie was right where he wanted her, young and moldable. I heard that. That's what he said. Mika said the straw that broke the camel's back. Yes, that's what it was. It was something minute. I got to thinking about that recently. Like, out of all the things, he done traumatized the dog, Kid Cudi dog, the parents, even mama. Her mama was talking about she was trying to fight him. Everybody was over his ish. What's up, Karen? Everybody was over Diddy ish in a way that Cassie wasn't. Everybody was on this, oh, hell no, in a way that Cassie wasn't. And we have whole think pieces as to why that was. That's the conversation. Why? Why? That's the big question. That's what I've been talking about, like the why. Why? 10 years of being forced to do something you don't want to do? I personally don't believe that. Rissa says, that just facts. Your wife is your prize, and I know I wouldn't treat her right after that show. No need for me to damage her more. So Rissa said you wouldn't even be able to have respect for her anymore coming off of what you heard. Men, are there any men in the chat? Let me know. If you heard the things that Alex Fine heard about his wife, the mother of his children, now 3 children, if you heard those things, and those things were not being denied by your wife, would you be able to still stay with her? Would you be able to still look at her the same? Would you feel the same way about her? Because I personally believe that you can't unhear something. So it's out. It's out now. I believe he knew a bit, but I personally don't believe that he knew everything that he came to learn during the trial. Because people, it's human nature, you never tell it all. You just tell what you have to tell, but you don't tell it all. And I do not believe that she told it all. And I also believe that during the trial, Cassie was reminded of a lot of things that she did because she spent so many years with him. I don't expect for her to remember every detail about their encounters, every text message. So I do believe that during this trial, there was some things that she heard that she like, damn, I forgot all about that. Or, okay, if you say I said that, damn, I can't remember because that was, but okay. Because she wasn't denying these things that was being said. Like, they had the receipts. They had the messaging. She wasn't denying it. So here it is. The husband is here sitting listening to these things. She wasn't saying, no, that's false. That's not real. I didn't say no, because they were reading her words. She just had to justify and say, well, what she meant or why she said it. But it wasn't a matter of if I said it. It's a matter of, okay, us talking about, well, why I said it. Welcome, everyone. Hey, Einstein. Thank you so much. Rizza says, and she's still in love with him. Nah, I'm out. And man knows, trust me. Yes. Rizza, you say you believe she's still in love with this man. Yes. So the husband has heard all of this. Here's another question. Do you all think that her husband is still following this trial, even though she's off the stand this week? Do you all think that he was somewhere still with his phone, his laptop, doing like what the rest of the world's been doing with listening in on what's been said in that courtroom? Do you think that this man is still has his interest? He's still curious. He still wants to know what was done, what was said, like, because they're home now. Again, back to nature. I do not believe that this man coming off of hearing all of this information and now they're at home and he knows there is more information being shared, that he is not going to be interested in wanting to hear what else is being said. Karen said, oh, yes, he's still listening. Y'all think he's somewhere sitting in the car, she in the house with the kids, nursing, doing whatever. He's somewhere, he's talking about, oh, yeah, I'll be back. I'm going to the gym. And he's somewhere sitting in a parking lot somewhere with his phone, his devices, and listening like the rest of the world. Mika said, yes, I think the husband is, because y'all, he done heard so much. How do you turn that off? Like, you don't just stop there, because he's learned so much about his wife to where it's just like, damn, like I gotta know now. Like you it's like you said, Amanda said, listening intently. Like, like, but do you blame him? Who wouldn't? I think, hell, if the roles was reversed, who wouldn't? It's this is natural. I'm not even side-eyeing him for this. He's still human. Even with him looking at her in a different way, I'm not even side-eyeing him. Like, I get it. I'm just saying, you all, I get it, and it makes sense. It makes sense to me for him to still want to hear what's going on. It makes sense for him to start feeling a little different. Like, it just makes sense to me because he's human. Amanda said, hopefully she opened up fully before she took the stand. I think that she did the best she felt she could admit to, like, based off of, I think she intentionally left out some things, but she felt like she told enough that would let him know that, hey, like, you're going to hear some things. I did engage in some things, but I need for you to understand the reason behind why I did it. You're probably going to hear some things that maybe I forgot or couldn't remember that I did, because she probably hit him with, hell, I couldn't remember all that stuff. But I know I engaged in some things. But the reason why I engaged in those things is because of coercion, being forced, drugs. I think it was more so kind of that. So he's like, okay, well, you said you engaged in some things, but it was forced. So then when he gets there, he's hearing these things, and it's just like, okay. But then it's the part where there's all these messages where she's like the initiator. So it's just like, wow, okay. She says she was forced, but damn, like, not all these messages is giving that she was forced. Some of these messages is giving that she kind of excited. Like, she kind of like she excited, you know? So it comes to a point where you got to use common sense. And in common sense, he's seeing like, okay, not all of this was, okay, you been on something. Like, some of these text messages, it seemed like you were in your right frame of mind. This is just kind of what type of time you was on at that point. Just Fact says, Cassie made a critical error by not securing immunity. Given the circumstances, she can absolutely be named an unindicted co-conspirator. The evidence shows she was knowingly involved. Mika said he probably side-eyeing her. Oh, he definitely side-eyeing her for sure, for sure. Who wouldn't? Because she told some, but she didn't tell it all. But she's sitting there, listen, I told all that I could remember. I told you everything that I could remember. I didn't tell you that because, hell, I couldn't remember that. I forgot about that. I did the best I could. And he like, Just say Wednesday, Cassie met back up with Diddy after she left him twice while being with her husband. So her husband had to hear that in court. He also had to hear in court that she had called him after Puffy had talked about Kim Porter being the love of his life. He had to hear that too. I don't see why he would have known that conversation took place. So I'm going to say that was his first time learning of that as well. He learned a lot of things. So listen, while the rest of the world listen to JLR reacts, he listened, he subscribed to, y'all. He subscribed to. He got that phone on locked. He in the bathroom. He got the shower. He got the shower water running. And he listening. He listening like the rest of the world. Christy Lee said he's convinced himself she is a victim because some truth hurts. Yes. And then what I learned is that his mother allegedly was a victim of sex trafficking. So his mother, so trauma bonding again. savior, the savior complex. His mother was a victim. He was a kid. I don't know at what point during his life where that happened to his mom, but he couldn't save her. So now he come across this woman who's saying her story was that of like similar to his mom being sex trafficked. So he's like, yo, like, it's the savior complex. And I hope that while she's getting counseling, I hope she's still in somebody counseling, because she's going to need it forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. He also, I hope he's getting counseling as well. I hope he's in counseling as well, because this is a lot. RZA said, oh no, he crying in a car smoking a pack of Newport 100s for reals, not the Newports. You know it's serious when you got the Newports. The Newports 100s. He is in the car. He's waiting, listening to JLR like me and anybody else. Listening to, waiting to see them transcripts. Karen says he may overlook some of the stuff from his mother's experience. Yeah. He may. I think that he's going to give it a good try to overcome and get past a lot of these things. I think he's going to try. I believe he loves his wife. He loves his children. But he's still human, and it's only so much he's going to be able to get over or get past. But I think he'll try. I think that coming off of this experience, their marriage is going to be tested in a way that it wasn't before. I think there's going to be some distance. It's going to be tension, you know, that unspoken tension. I think he's going to find more opportunities to create distance between them, to physically move around and go do other things versus just being around her, laid up on her. I think he's going to try to do things that has him to not really have to look at her. You know how sometimes, you know, you see somebody, you looking at them from across the room. Y'all know I love, like, Jess Hilarious, the comedian. I love her content where it's like you're in her thoughts and she's just sitting looking, and then you can hear her, you know, she's talking, and it's like her thoughts. It's hilarious. I just think it's going to be a lot of them moments where he's just going to be sitting and he'll be looking across the room, looking at her. And he's not going to even realize how he's looking at her, but she's going to be picking up this energy, this way that he's looking at her, like, what the hell, he's looking at me like this, because it's going to be different. She's going to see and feel that he looks at her differently since the trial. So, or he's going to be looking at her, he's going to try to put a fake smile on. He's going to try to put on. He's going to try. I truly believe this man is going to try. He is going to try. But I personally don't believe that he's going to be successful, meaning that their relationship is going to stand the test of time. I do not believe that at all. I give it a good 5 more years from now at best. Like, many men say, this is a matter of months. Y'all let me know, men. How long? How long you think that he's going to be able to stay in the car and cry secretly by himself? Because keep in mind, this man still got to go around his friends and his family. What y'all think they doing this weekend? You know, it's the holidays. You got the holidays coming up. Like, you get together. I think his comfort would be more probably around her family than probably his people, because that's their daughter. Like, him being at the house with his in-laws, I think his comfort would be far better there than him being around the people in his world who didn't feel any of Diddy's wrath. See, because the parents, they've been victims to an extent too from Diddy. So everybody can trauma bond and be over here together. But in his world, these people who never kind of interacted with him, they're just listening to all these testimonies because, listen, they tapped in. They subscribe to JLR Reacts too. So they getting all the tea as well. So how do you go meet up with your boys and have your boys' night again coming off of this? How do you bring your woman, Cassie, around your boys' women and y'all do the couples thing? Like, what do these women say to Cassie. Like, I just think it's just going to be so uncomfortable to where neither one of them are going to really like or want to go around people, because they're going to feel like it's just not the same. That people are just trying their best to not try to make things seem awkward. But the more people try to not to make things seem awkward, the more things are going to be awkward. You see? It's the unspoken. It's the silence. Just Say When says, I give it 3 to 5 years at this point. Then he will grab the kids and leave. Just the Fact says he's going to stay long as his lawyers advise. That man going to get child support and alimony from Cassie. I believe that too. Just the Fact says as long as they're so do y'all think that he's already consulted with a lawyer regarding the situation? You know, as a preparation, just an idea of if I were to leave, what would that look like for me from a financial standpoint, as far as how I can leave with money? Like, paint the picture. Y'all think that he's having these conversations? Just the Fact says, of course, lawyers probably even reached out to him for free. Just Say When says, I believe that. Dang. So y'all say y'all think he already getting hit up with the divorce lawyers. Because here's the thing. He would have to try to get out before the money's really dwindled down. Like, because what they got, as of when she was on stand, she still had 10 million coming to her. So she had the 20 already that she had gotten, back in when she won that lawsuit in 23. So we know the 20 million is no longer 20 million anymore because they've been living. She has another 10 million that's coming. As of when she was on stand, she had not gotten that deposit yet. So do you all think that he's factoring in, okay, trying to leave before the money kind of really dwindles? Like, do you all think that maybe he got like a certain dollar amount that he's trying to leave with? Because if that's the case, the earlier he leaves, the more favorable it's going to be for him, as far as with the amount of money that he can leave with. Y'all, I'm not talking about any of what I want to see happen. I'm just talking probability, the writing that's on the wall. I'm factoring in that he is a man, and men think and move differently than women. I am factoring in the things that men have said in how they would react just as a man, with how hearing the things that was said on the stand impacts them just as a man. Because a man wants to view his woman as just everything, their pride and joy. Like, you don't, like, it ain't a matter of him thinking that's about how many people been with his wife or wondering if she contracted anything. Y'all, we are sitting in him already knowing that multiple men peed in her mouth. She has sores in her mouth. Like, these are things that he knows, not some men sit and wonder. Like, y'all, this is no wondering. This is no wondering for this man. We are talking about the facts, the things that were presented during the trial that she did not deny. She just spoke on the reasoning behind why she did it. It was no, I did not do that. It's well, I did that because. You see how it changes things? So a lot of these things that was said in this trial, many men are like, oh, hell no, like, I can't do this. Just Say When said this is factual evidence. Hey, what's up, Zach? Welcome. Thank you so much. Christy Lee says she better be careful about whose name comes out in the bedroom. Karen says this is too much for any man or woman to endure and want to know about their spouse. That's what I'm saying. I'm not even mad at him with how he handles it, whether he stays or he leaves, because I understand. It's psychological. Like, that's why I hope that he's also getting counseling himself, and that it's not just her, because he's been traumatized as well. Child, y'all, do y'all think this man was traumatized? Was it last week during court? Would y'all say that this man was traumatized? Because y'all, it was some things that came out. Would you classify him as being traumatized? Do y'all think that that man needs his own counseling sessions? He like, they want to tag you in. Cassie like, all right, Monday I'm at counseling. He like, all right then, because bitch, I'm there on Tuesday. I am there on Tuesday. Monday is your day. Tuesday is mine. Wednesday can be ours. You got Monday, Cassie on Mondays, Alex on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday we come together and we talk about the struggles that we working through on Monday and Tuesday. Hey, Yolanda, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Long time no see. Karen says she probably knows and worries what will happen after all this is over. Of course. Y'all think she gonna go through postpartum? She just had a new baby, a baby boy, from what I've learned. Coming off of the stand, she did, from what I've heard, gave birth to her son, a son. I'm sure she's wondering, like, how they will survive this, if they will survive it. I don't see how it doesn't cross her mind. Riza said he just needs to man up. You said man up, handle your business, and go on and leave. Riza, that's what you're saying? Yeah. He doesn't strike me as the most, I don't know. He seems, I guess, good for her, but he doesn't strike me as that type of man like that stands on business really like that. And I think a lot of it could have to do with because of just what happened with his mother and being sensitive to just the abuse and helping his mom get through just the abuse she endured and working through all of that. So it has him to be kind of soft when it comes to things sitting around standing your ground and just saying, you know what we not gonna do. I don't know. I don't know. He just doesn't come off to me as the most kind of the strongest man. No. Which is why I think he's managed to stay with Cassie and he made her his wife and the mother of his kids. Just because of just his what word I want to use? His to me, he gives that he can probably be gullible. He can be gullible. And I think that's how Cassie got him. He was gullible. He was only 25 when they got together. She was like 32. Cassie's like 7 years older than this man. I've talked about this on my channel. She was the older woman to him. He was only 25. He was a baby. Just like she was a baby when Diddy got with her, he was a baby when she got with him. She had the advantage in the relationship. He knew what she told him. She painted the picture. He went off of that. Riza says, I'm not trying to sound cold, but he should be there for only mentally for the sake of his son and move on. So you said for the son. What about the girls? You saying they don't matter, Riza? You said just for the sake of the boy, the son? Because he got girls. The two oldest ones are girls. So, like, where that lead the girls? I think if they were to separate, I think the kids definitely should be with him. I think he's the more fit parent from what I've come to see. Just the fact said, Rizzo, what about the other kids? Listen, just the facts and me, we like, wait a damn minute, what about the girls? Listen, they didn't ask for this nonsense either. My thing is, like, if he's going to stick around and he wants to stick around just to make sure his kids are good, just his kids in general, I can respect that. I can respect that. But my thing is, if he is going to leave and he going to take his little half or whatever amount that he can get, I think he should also take the kids with him. I think he should take the kids with him. Just Say Win says he left court last week with his head down with embarrassment. I kept hearing people talking about how he was looking as he was walking out the courthouse. Or even how he was looking in the courthouse. Somebody was like, yo, like somebody that I was listening to, I think Armand Wiggins, he was like, he was in the courthouse. He's another big content creator out there. You can follow him. He kind of goes deep into the details of what's taking place in the courtroom because he's in there. He's been in there from day one. So he was like, you know, when Alex Fine is in there and just these things that are being said that shows that Cassie just have been really out there and lying to just him to everybody. And they'll have the text messages on the screen. And he's like, you know, the screen is like right here. And then Alex is here. So as the text messages are rolling on the screen, he's kind of turned to the left and he's red. He's just fire red as he's hearing these things. Because mind you, a lot of these things that he's hearing when it comes to these text messages, it's not abusive language being spoken in these text messages. It's text messages centered around his wife initiating the indiscretions. It's mostly those text messages. It's not text messages that's supporting the allegations of abuse. It's text messages supporting Diddy's team's narrative of she was a willing participant. You see, so the text messages that they're showing is showing that. And Alex is in there having to read those text messages. Or he's choosing to not read it, so he's turning his head away. But the prosecution team, they're reading out the text messages. Or the defense team is reading out the messages. Everybody reading the messages. Alex Fine, he don't want to look at the screen. But just because you choose to not look, it doesn't mean that they're not there, that the text messages don't exist. He can't unhear what he's hearing. He can turn and not look at the screen, but he can't turn off. He can't stop hearing. RZA said you keep a respectful relationship with her and get your children and move on. And that's what a lot of men are saying. Right now, every day, I'm just hearing how people are just really just talking about her all up underneath her clothes, calling her a 304, a HO, all these things that are being said about her right now. How long will their relationship be able to withstand that? Y'all, we are in the times of the internet. Bye-bye, Mika. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Be safe. Thank you for joining. You all, thank you all for joining. Can we get to 100 likes? We have 93 likes, 53 of you in the building. Welcome. Thank you for joining me this beautiful Saturday, Memorial Weekend. How do you all think the Fines are celebrating their holiday weekend this weekend with their new bundle of joy? So here's the thing. Do you all think these are happy times for that couple right now? They have a new addition to their family. Alex Fine has a son. He's probably been really wanting to have a son. Most men want to have a son. He has a son. Do you all think that he's really taking that in? The fact that, oh, my son is here, I have a new child. Or do you think that with everything that's going on, it's overshadowing it all? And it's really kind of taking over like his attention, his emotions, to where he can't fully take in and embrace the experience of fatherhood to his new baby, his son. Even Cassie with having a new baby. It's a lot. It's a lot, y'all. Like, I'm just saying, I understand that it may be rough and tough in the in the Fine household. I understand. Can we get to 100 likes? 3 more likes. Can we get to 100 likes? I appreciate you. So, this live, I came out here to talk about the latest lawsuit filed against Diddy and FONZWORTH Bentley, Diddy's former assistant from back in like the 90s. A man has come out alleging that Diddy and FONZWORTH Bentley has essayed him. They R'd him. And he is requesting for $7,500,000. Karen, you said it puts a damper on the joy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a lot. It's a lot. And here's the thing, as we talk about the adults that are going through it, these are children. There are 3 children now that's being raised in this environment. So think about the impact onto them. Do you all think that the daughters, the girls, I don't know what their ages are. They seem like they're maybe like 4 and 3 maybe. Do you all think that they felt any type of impact just in their short-lived lives from just all that, just the mom, the trauma, Cassie? Like, do you think that it impacts how she interacts with them? Are there unhealthy moments between her and her children? Not intentional, but I'm just saying where the kids are being impacted in a way because of just some of the side effects, maybe her emotions, her moods. Maybe sometimes she cries a lot. Maybe sometimes she sleeps a lot. Maybe sometimes she don't sleep. Maybe sometimes she's distant and she don't want to be around anyone. Maybe sometimes she don't want to play with the children or hug the children. I'm just saying because she has all these things that she's working through while also having to be a mother to now 3 children. So as she try to work to keep us together, she got 3 lives that are dependent on her. So she already struggling with life. We ain't even finna argue that. She's struggling with life. But she got 3 lives still that are dependent upon her. Yolanda, you said the children are having an impact from this, a lot of emotions. Jerry says, I ain't never want to be around anybody, so I get it. Yeah, so everybody is like feeling the effects of it. The children taking notice of mommy's her changes in her mood, where sometimes she's kind of wants to play and be with the family, and then sometimes she's just in the room all day. Or sometimes daddy say, oh, mommy's not having a good day. Leave mommy alone. We're going to go do this. And mommy don't join us. Because I'd imagine there's moments where daddy may take the kids and go do something fun with them, or take them away from the house, or do something to allow for Cassie to have her moments, because it's just not a good day. Because, sometimes it's not a good day for everyone. So there's probably more moments for her than maybe a lot of other people where it's not a good day. Riza says, Sheik be going in as usual. Let's go. Let's get the 100 likes. It just came in. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. You all hit the like button. I like to insert into the conversation mental health, mental illness, because when we go through things, it has an impact on our mentals. And all that Cassie has endured, all that came out during this trial, you cannot believe for a second that it's not having some type of psychological impact on her, her husband, and her children. And now there's a new baby. And kids pick up energies. And with this new baby, let's just say she's nursing the baby. Remember, energies. This baby is very close to her, needing to touch her. And if Cassie is not in a good place, guess what? The baby is picking up that energy. The baby is picking up that energy. And that's not good. And we don't need the baby coming into the world and the baby nerves all bad. Because just think about you all, just Cassie knowing that she's having to testify. So remember, she's pregnant, so that means she got pregnant after the payout, the settlement of the $20 million. So during this pregnancy, her name had been heavily circulating in the media. So would you all say, do you believe that she had a stressful pregnancy? Because all of 2024, they say when she was pregnant, majority of 2024, it was basically preparing for this trial. I don't know how long she knew that she was going to testify, but from what I heard, she wasn't subpoenaed. Like, she offered, like, this, she voluntarily testified. So I'm going to say, like, this pregnancy was a stressful pregnancy for her. Just Say Wednesday. Yes, Cassie says she is under mental health care on a regular basis. Young G, welcome. Nice here. Thank you so much. Can you hit the like button? Like, double tap the screen, like the video. There's a lot of stress, and I can understand it, and I don't feel like the stress is going away anytime soon. I don't think the stress that she'll feel will ever go away. It's just a matter of how she will navigate through it, how she will handle it. And that's part of, like, when you go to counseling, you learn how to navigate or how to handle stress. You know, you learn, like, the counselors, like, provide you, like, they give you those tools that you need to work through those tough days. And then keep in mind, like, she was pregnant, so there's probably certain medications that she probably couldn't take to manage her, you know, her traumas because she was pregnant. So she was having to find alternate ways to deal with things. And then there may have been some medicines, you know, because she's had 3 kids, so maybe there were times with some of the pregnancies she was medicated because she just couldn't do it without the medicine. I don't know. But I'm going to say that that woman is not in a good place. And she hasn't been in a good place for a long time. That woman ain't been in a good place since she met Diddy, y'all. She ain't been in a good place since then. And it's just a matter of there being some moments better than others. Christy says, I think if she would have sought immunity, her credibility would have been questioned even more. Yeah. Here's my thing. While Cassie's been on the stand, it wasn't a lot of things really what she was denying. It was just a matter of her reasoning, if her reasoning for what she did aligned with the reasoning behind what Diddy's team said the reason was. So it's not really if, it's a matter of, like, why. Like, why'd you do it? That's the part that's up for debate, the why, not what she did. So Alex Fine, her husband, is having to live with the what she did part. The part that's not up for debate. That's the part he got to live with. Not, oh my God, did my wife really have people pee in her mouth? No. He's living with, oh my God, my wife had people pee in her mouth. And this is the reason why she said she did. Is that reason good enough for me? Karen says, I'm sure he's trying to act unbothered and keep it together now for the public and new baby coming, but it will all come to a head later on. Yep. I agree. I agree. Aqua Rose, what's up, Aqua Rose? Haven't seen you in a while. Yes, I agree. It's going to come to a head. That's why I'm not mad at, like, his efforts, because I just think that he's really, like, he's doing his best. He's doing his best to navigate through all of this. I feel like Cassie's doing her best to navigate through all of this. They're both doing their best to navigate through all of it. But sometimes your best just isn't good enough to keep things going. Just the Fact says, I'm reading Cassie's civil suit against Diddy. This is kind of sad. No matter if Cassie was down with some of the freak-offs, she deserves the $20 million. Yes, I agree she deserves the $20 million. I definitely agree that she deserves the $20 million. And I also feel like Cassie's win was a win for me, for all of his victims. Cassie is the face of all of his victims. Cassie is the face of the 12-year-old, the 13-year-old, the 14-year-old named that's mentioned in the most recent lawsuit. Cassie is the face of the voiceless. Cassie is the face of the people who don't have the courage to come forward. So I do believe that she deserves the 20 million. Just say, Win says, Cassie said that she takes meds to stay clean every day. I found that surprising considering that she was pregnant. Yeah, that's the thing about medication. When people are diagnosed with conditions while they're pregnant, it's just a lot of times they can't take things, and then there's those times where they do take things, and it's just like you just hope for the best that it's not going to just have a damaging impact on the fetus, on the baby, whatever. So I would think that whatever this medicine that she said she was taking, the doctors then found that it was going to be maybe a minimal impact to the baby. I hope, I don't know, but for her to still be taking the medicine while pregnant, I feel like she just felt like she just had to just wake up every day, like she had to. And it's just, I mean, yeah, so with all this, again, she deserves the 20 million. He deserves to be in jail. Anybody who say he did anything to them, they deserve to have their day in court. Get your little paperwork together like this new person just did. What was his name? Was his name Kevin? What we said? No, what was that new man name? Somebody that just came out. What we said his name was? Randall. What was his name? Randy. Everybody need to come and get theirs. Why he still got some money? Because the bank account is dwindling. The bank account is dwindling. Chrissy said, I think all his blackmailing reversed on him. Yep. Yep. What's done in the dark come out in the day. Karma is real. Nobody's exempt from it. He thought he was getting away with his shenanigans until he came to see that he didn't. Here we are. Y'all let me know, anybody in the chat who think he gonna get off. Don't forget, 2 more likes. Can we get to 100 likes in this live? 2 more likes. Have you hit the like button? Yolanda says, from the darkness to the light. From the darkness to the light. And if you were not a believer before about the statement of what's done in the dark comes out in the day, this case should have made everybody a believer. Thank you so much for liking the video. We've hit the 100 likes. I thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yep, so I will continue to follow this case and come out to report. So I have multiple channels on this channel. I report on just viral things that's going on. Lately, it's been the Diddy case that I've been reporting on this channel. I have a second channel, Sheik Speaks on It. So this channel, Sheik Speaks. I have a second channel, Sheik Speaks on It. I spend a lot of time on that channel, probably most of my time over there. But that's centered around politics, the things that are going on in these political streets with the current administration, the impact on the lives of the American people as a result of the decisions that are being made by the current administration. So if you want to know my take on that, definitely follow me over there. Sheik Speaks on It. So that's all like political type talk. All else would be this channel. So I definitely encourage you all to follow me on both channels. Christy Lee says, yikes, Comey's daughter leading the prosecution. Yes, they're both You're talking about with the Diddy trial. I know on Diddy's side, the defense side, there's a father-daughter that duo that's working for him. There's a I can't think of the attorney's name, but his daughter is also, I think, on the team. It's a father-daughter. Garrigo, does that sound familiar to you all, with one of the lawyers for Diddy? But there's a lawyer who has a daughter who's also an attorney. And I think they're both, on his team right now. So you're saying Comey's daughter is on the prosecution side. So listen, we got the daughters battling out, because on Diddy's side, there is a daughter also, I think, of a big attorney that's on his side. Just the fact says Randy Pittman is known to file suits against random famous people and institution, and he has a lawsuit against the NBA, Wells Fargo, Diddy, Federal Bureau of Prison. Lord Jesus. So we got to do a live on Randy Pittman. We got to get in. So this news just broke last night about this lawsuit. So that's interesting. So hopefully when Farnsworth Bentley lawyer up, his team will be able to get down to it, and they'll have the same results that Jay-Z had with having the case thrown out. So we'll see. Membership. Thank you so much, Dr. J, for putting that out. If you would like to become a member of my channel, become a political honor student for the Temu price of the $2.99 tier 1 memberships. So as a member, when you come through, your name will show up in color. I will prioritize your comments. So it's just one additional way to support. You can also support through Super Chat. That also shows up in color. I will also prioritize your comments. You can show support by liking the video, sharing, subscribing, watching the content through and through. The longer, the better. And you can show support by sending me a Cash App, $, speak50. $speak50 is my Cash App. So any type of way, free, monetary, I just appreciate the support. You all come through and you show me love when I go live on either channel, Chic Speaks or Chic Speaks on it. I will ask that you subscribe to both channels. Dr. J, please share your channel link. Dr. J, my awesome mod, is also a content creator that talks about things centered around education and things that are going on into the world and how it applies to education. And many of us are parents. We're still raising children. We're dealing with the school system. And we have some of us adults who are actually still students. So if you are interested in anything centered around education and these changes, follow Dr. J. Dr. J, please share your link to your channel in the chat so people can follow you to show support. Dr. J goes live. She goes live. She can share, what her schedule is, but follow her so you can get the notifications when she go live to just talk about education. But she gets into some things. So she's definitely into the education, into the whole education thing, more so than I am. I talk about education, but not on the level that she does. So follow her if you want to be in the know in regards to the education here in the USA. She has shared her link, so hit the link. Make sure you all have the notification bells on any of your any content, any channels for any of your favorite content creators, so you will get the notifications, so you know when we go live. But on that note, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. It's a holiday weekend. Be safe out there. Go out into the world. Show up in a way in which you want others to show up for you. Take care of yourself and one another. Heavy on taking care of yourself. Like attracts like. Give off good energy. Dr. J said, I don't have a time set to go live. It is random. See, Dr. J, like me over here, we real random. But when we bring it, we bring it. So make sure you have the notification bell hit, because I don't have a schedule. I typically go live almost daily. So most of the time between any of my channels, I will go live. So definitely subscribe. But most of the time I'm live on Chic Speaks on It. That's my political channel. Right now with everything that's going on in the world, with these bills being passed, immigration, it has my attention. So I have a lot to say in regards to that. So check me out over there if you want to hear what I have to say. And I am welcome to hear what you have to say in regards to the state of the economy in the US of A. On that note, take care of yourselves and one another. Again, heavy on the taking care of yourselves. So often we're taking care of everyone and neglecting ourselves. So today's the lesson, the homework for today is do something nice for yourself. Do something nice for yourself. And after doing something nice for yourself, show some love to someone else. You all have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. If any of you are struggling with mental health, I definitely encourage for you to talk to someone. I do have products that I sell. You can access the links on some of my previous recorded videos on my, I guess those links would be on my Chic Speaks on It channel. There are links over there where I have products on Amazon centered around mental health, adult coloring books, journals, notebooks, planners, things like that. So just figure out a healthy way to get your self-care in, to take care of yourselves. Because you have to take care of yourself before you can be good for anyone else. Take care of yourselves and one another. And on that note, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Be safe, and I'll catch you all in the next broadcast. Peace.